listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
Well, folks, it's that time of year again. Ball State Field Hockey on SL Digital, presented by Victory Honda Website. I'm Roen Elbert. Join me on Roen Stojetz, AJ Swiatek. Take us the whole way through the weather. Ryan, it's a beautiful afternoon for field hockey. How are you feeling, my friend?
Absolutely it is, and it's opening day for both of these teams. So much excitement, so much energy here on the field hockey pitch between St. Francis and Ball State. Both teams very excited to be here, ready to turn the page and begin the 2024 campaign.
Absolutely, and for both teams, in some way, looking to bounce back. For Ball State, second year of Caitlin Walsh's tenure last season, going to her third season this year. After her first season making the MAC tournament last year, finishing 6th place, looking to bounce back in that regard. St. Francis, on the other hand, last season finished second in the Northeast Conference. However, a first-round exit in the conference tournament to Sacred Heart, a 1-0 heartbreaker in double overtime. And for St. Francis, going back to them, only 4 starters remain from that team last year. Do you think they still have a sour taste in their mouth?
I think that the players who were there for that obviously remember it. But I think at this point you really are ready to turn the page. You have that mentality that, look, we didn't like the way last season ended, had a great regular season, finished second in the conference, but lost in the conference semifinals, as you mentioned. But still a lot to be proud of for St. Francis last year, a 10-8 overall record, a 5-2 conference record in the Northeast Conference. So a lot to be proud of for the Red Flash, but I really do think, Rowan, that they're ready to turn the page. They're ready to just take on Ball State, start this season. Their goal is to go 1-0 today. So, of course, the players are always going to remember the way last season ended in heartbreaking fashion, double overtime in the playoffs, or conference tournament rather. But I think that they're ready to turn the page, and this is a new look St. Francis team. They this year were picked to finish 5th in the Northeast Conference according to the Northeast Conference preseason poll. That would place them just outside of the conference tournament. Obviously just a projection, but clearly if St. Francis is going to get back to where they were last year and potentially further, they're going to have some new faces step up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And for Ball State at this point, coming off of a 7-11 record last year, 2-5 in the MAC. However, the MAC's going to be a little bit more difficult with JMU joining the conference. It's going to be harder to get a MAC tourney bid. How do you think this affects Ball State?
Well, I mean, just look at the math of it. First of all, you add another team to the conference, you now have 9 teams competing for 4 spots in that conference tournament. And James Madison it's a really good squad in that mid-Atlantic region of the country, not just in terms of the schools that are there, but also in terms of the field hockey recruits that come from that area. A lot of talent for this sport in that area of the country. And you look at the MAC last year, you had App State, Miami of Ohio, who won the conference tournament, Kent State and Ohio, rounding out the 4 that made the MAC tournament. Then on the outside looking in, you had Bellarmine, Ball State, Longwood, and Central Michigan missing the tournament, finishing 5th through 8th respectively. And James Madison, new to the MAC this year in field hockey. Ball State will play James Madison towards the end of the season, October 27th, right here at Briner Sports Complex. So really, it's just another fight, another opportunity for Ball State. It's another opportunity for them to take on a really good opponent. And again, last year it was 8 teams fighting for 4 spots. Now it's 9 teams fighting for 4 spots.
Protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards.
Welcome back, folks, here as Ball State field hockey set to tip off their season against the St. Francis Red Flash. And just to continue off of where we were at, Ryan, I want to talk about some impact players. Who are a few players from both teams that you expect to make a huge impact on opening day?
Well, let's start with the Ball State side. I'm looking at number 14, Paloma Rengifo, the grad student, a forward. Missed 2022 due to injury. She redshirted that year. Rengifo started and played in all 18 games last year for the Cardinals, though. She posted 40 shots. 16 of those shots went on goal, and she scored 3 goals and had 2 assists last year as well. So she's someone who, if the Cardinals are going to succeed offensively this year, she's going to have to play a big role. I expect that we'll be calling her name a lot here in a few minutes.
Absolutely. And now let's head into keys to the game. Ryan, for both of these teams, it's a new page. It's a fresh start. What are the keys to the game for both teams?
Well, speaking of start, Ball State's got to get off to a fast start. 11 of Ball State's 18 games last year were one-goal contests. The Cards posted a record of 4-7 in these games. So playing in those tight contests in the past hasn't always been kind for the Cardinals. So for that reason, and just for the general confidence of the Cardinals in general, I think it would be huge for Ball State to get off to a fast start, maybe score an early first goal in this one. I think that would do wonders for the team. And now shifting over to St. Francis, what they have to do is they have to communicate. St. Francis's 2024 roster features 12 newcomers and 13 returning players, so almost half your team is new. And just 4 starters are returning, which is really, really why the importance of communication is paramount in this matchup for St. Francis. And in addition to that, the Red Flash have a new head coach in Mackenzie Olisey. And look, practice is one thing, but with so many new faces, a new head coach, taking the field in a regular season game situation for the first time, communication is going to be so important, making sure you're using the whole field, the pitch. It's about 100 yards long and 60 yards wide. Make sure you have players spreading out, using the entirety of the pitch, efficient passing, good team communication, with a lot of new faces and new faces and new places for the Red Flash. That's going to be huge for them to have success here this afternoon.
And Ryan, I'm still in awe by that statistic. New head coach, pretty much half of the team is new. And only 4 starters returning from last year. And not only that, on the road for the first game, definitely going to be difficult. But like you said, communication is key. But what do you think the key is to building chemistry early on in the season, especially, they've been practicing for a vast majority of the summer, but just how do you build that chemistry early on in the season to get hot early before you have conference matchups?
Well, I think you got to rely on your leaders. You have to rely on those 4 starters who were here and are running it back with St. Francis. And I'm going to talk about one of those players real quick. Number 1 for St. Francis, Madison Waltzberger, a junior who's listed as both a midfielder and a defender. She started every single game of her collegiate career. She actually made her collegiate debut in Muncie against Ball State back on August 25th of 2022, so almost exactly 2 years ago. She was named to the All-Northeast Conference second team last season, and she recorded 3 goals and 6 assists for the Red Flash last season. And she's one of those 4 starters that are returning. So with that fact, plus the fact that she's now an upperclassman, I bet that this St. Francis squad is going to look to her for some leadership on the pitch. So that's what it's about. This is a team sport, a lot of space. It's 11 on 11, just 4 starters returning. Those leaders are going to have to step up in-game and also on the bench, coaching up their teammates, helping some of the younger players and new faces get acclimated.
And going back to that matchup 2 years ago, Ball State won 2-1, just like they did in 2021 against St. Francis. The all-time series matchup, Ball State leads 3-1. So St. Francis looking to kind of change that record for sure, especially considering Ball State has had their number. Do you think they have that in mind, or do you think it's just, a fresh start, especially to a new season?
To be honest, I really don't think that's a huge factor for St. Francis. You want to win every single time you take the pitch, whether it's opening day or whether it's the regular season finale or whether it's the conference championship. So they might know that. The scheduled matchup last season between these 2 teams was actually canceled, so this is the first time that these teams are seeing each other in pretty much 2 calendar years. So I don't think there's too many hard feelings on the St. Francis side about the series standings, especially because it's fairly limited in the grand scheme of things. Just 4 prior matchups between these two squads, the first one being in 2017. So I think St. Francis just wants to start 1-0. They really don't care who's on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, and going to Ball State and their coaching staff, Caitlin Walsh in her 3rd season, year 1, went to the MAC tourney. That's an incredible first year. Last season finishing 6th out of 8. Definitely looking to bounce back in that regards, but she'll have an entirely new staff around her. She'll have Brooke Richards as an assistant coach and Emily Crawford as a graduate assistant. I mean, how important is that for Ball State to have a little bit of a change in the coaching staff?
I mean, change can be a good thing, especially when you're bringing on people to the staff that are already familiar with the program. But with Caitlin Walsh, the university really likes what they've seen from her in her first 2 years of leading the program, so much so that they gave her a contract extension, extending her through the 2026 season. So congrats to her. That's really exciting for her and this entire field hockey program. And it's just about taking that next step. It's about development. Again, last year, maybe not the type of year the Cardinals had hoped for, but still, the Cardinals have a lot of returning players, 19 returners for Ball State. So really building a foundation here in Muncie, Indiana. And I think, and clearly the university thinks that Caitlin Walsh is the right person to lead that effort.
Absolutely, and this Sunday, after this game, Ball State will be taking on Stanford at home. But after that, they get a little bit of a break. They don't play again until September 8th. So how does that affect this team? You play 2 games early on in the season, and then you're off for pretty much a week.
That can be tough, especially early in the season when you're trying to find a rhythm, but I really think Ball State has a one-at-a-time mentality, especially this early in the season. You're really not scoreboard watching, looking at the conference standings just yet, especially in the non-conference portion of the schedule. This weekend, it's 2 tough non-conference opponents for Ball State that they'll be taking on right here, and it begins today with St. Francis. And I think what that does is, yeah, maybe it won't count towards the conference standings, but it builds confidence, and it allows Ball State to take on programs that in some cases have been to places where they would like to go. St. Francis, again, a lot of new faces, but still a program that finished 2nd in the regular season in the Northeast Conference last year. Stanford's a quality program as well. So I think it's good on Ball State for not taking the easy route, scheduling a quality out-of-conference schedule right off the bat. I think they'll reap the benefits of that by the time conference season rolls around because they'll be really battle-tested.
Yeah, and St. Francis, they're coming all the way from Pennsylvania. Do you think the travel and the wear and tear from that may have an effect on how they play this game today?
I don't think so too much. I think if anything, we should keep our eye on the weather. I think it's important for both of these teams to substitute often, stay hydrated, drink lots of water. It's a hot one out. We're a little toasty up here, if we're being honest, but even down on the pitch, out there in the sun, it's definitely going to be even warmer as we're in the hot August days here in Muncie, Indiana. Summer still holding on strong as we head into the school year. So I think that's really what both of these teams are going to have to manage well, substituting, drinking water, staying hydrated, and good passing to try to limit the amount of running you have to do, just using your teammates and, again, spreading out using the whole pitch. That's going to be key, especially in a hot day like this.
Yeah, and all I'm going to say about the temperature is I picked the wrong day to wear all black. Now, let's go into the rules. As it's a new season, it's time to go over the rules to kind of refresh your memory.
Yeah, so one thing that you're really going to want to know about with field hockey is a penalty corner. Now you might be wondering, what is that? Well, we'll tell you. A penalty corner is sometimes known as a short corner. It's when a penalty is given against the defending team when they're inside of their own 25-yard mark. And a penalty corner protocol is as follows. When a penalty corner is awarded, a maximum of 5 defending players, including the goalkeeper, line up behind the back line, either in the goal or on the back line at least 5 meters from the ball. All other players on the defending team must be behind the center line. So it's a little bit like if you think about it in inbound in basketball, where one of the offensive players passes the ball in the field of play from behind the back line to a teammate. The catch is the remainder of the offensive team players have to place themselves on the outside of that striking circle, which I'll explain in a second. And then once the ball is passed in play, it doesn't have to get to one of those other offensive players. As soon as the ball is passed from the back line. As soon as it enters the field of play, it's a free-for-all, and penalty corners are important, and they often produce some of the best scoring opportunities for either team in a typical field hockey match. So those are going to be huge, and I know we'll talk about it once we get on air for the game, but capitalizing on those or not could be the difference in this matchup. And really quickly, I'll explain what that striking circle is. It's because it's important, no. The striking circle is the area inside which the ball has to be struck for a goal to be scored. If the ball goes into the goal, but it's not touched by an attacking player inside that striking circle, the goal will not count. The striking circle is a semicircle extending from the goal line out to about 16 yards out from the goal and then back to the goal line. These circles are the only area players can shoot the ball from. Again, any shot that goes in the goal outside of these semicircles does not count. And finally, the goal dimensions in field hockey. Field hockey goals are 7 feet high and 12 feet wide, so a bit bigger than an ice hockey net, but smaller than a soccer net. So these goalkeepers are going to have a lot of area to defend for sure.
Is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
We are back, folks. Just taking a quick break for the national anthem. But to wrap it up at this point, we are getting ready to get started here. Ball State tipping off their season against St. Francis. You have been listening to the SportsLink Digital pregame show for opening day, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptoninn.com. At munciesweets.hamptoninn.com.
Now officially saying hello and welcome from the Bryner Sports Complex, I'm AJ Swiatek. My right-hand man this evening will be Ryan Stojetz. How about that pregame coverage from Roen Elbert, only a freshman? You wouldn't be able to tell it from the very talented kid. Ryan, the matter at hand is the Red Flash and the Cardinals. You guys did a great job of previewing it, but now let's walk through the starting lineup, starting partner. What's jumping out to you for Ball State?
Well, I think you look at Ball State, you see a lot of returning players. I think, as we mentioned in the pregame, Paloma Rengifo is going to be a huge contributor offensively. She's one that really stands out. Also, a couple of the other midfielders, Emma Van Hal, Grace Clokey, people that are going to step up, people that have been here before. I think that Ball State has a really quality group of returning players. Did lose some key contributors from last season, but still overall a solid group of returners. A lot of them are out there on the pitch to start.
On the other end, you guys touched on it. This is a new look Red Flash team that will start in possession of the Pearl. The 15-minute first quarter is underway with a tip back to Amy Mattingly, one of the starters for the Red and Black this evening. She's helped out by Madison Waldsberger, who takes it on the far hash. It is just beyond that midfield stripe. That is where the ball has rolled end over end out of play. We're 15 seconds in action. Call it 14:44 to play here in the first quarter. It's been nothing but St. Francis possession early. Now it is hooked into the offensive zone. That's where Ball State's defense will immediately clash as both sides make contact with one another's stick, but ultimately winning the joust is Lauren Lewis. She'll get a free hit inside her own quarter.
It's going to be interesting to see how these teams play starting. Will they be aggressive or will they take some time to be passive and try to feel each other out?
Well, there's your answer. Ball State shoves the ball beyond that middle echelon. However, no one there to get to it. Winds up rolling out of play. So now it will be a reset for both sides as the ball is played backwards in possession of the squad rocking their white uniforms with black numerals today. Ball State, that's an overpass. Rachel Bond just couldn't get to it. Winds up now out on the near side. That is where Madeline Donmoyer takes over. Grabs a fresh ball from Jan Stanky, one of the two officials tonight. She's helped out by Erin McGuire Osting down the line. As with 13:53 to play in this first quarter of action, Ball State field hockey still predictably all knotted up with the St. Francis Red Flash under a first-year head coach, Mackenzie Alciesi. The squad will have to set up here on the defensive side as Ball State has a free hit just beyond the 50-yard mark. It's fielded cleanly into the contest for the first time over there. That's Reagan Kunkel, who immediately tomahawk slashes down the line. It's misplayed. This time it goes with the Red Flash. Now Dolores Zavalita has it and resets in her own defensive end. Both sides just looking for some sustained form of offense early. It looks like not real jab for jab, blow for blow field hockey to this point. Just trying to get their footing in the home opener for the Cardinals and season opener for both of these sides who are looking to get some extended possession as it's misplayed out of bounds once more now with the Cardinals.
That's exactly right. I mean, you look at this match so far, really almost exclusively being played between those 25-yard marks. Not too many quality offensive chances, although this could be changing soon.
It could, as there's a push towards the D. However, it is handled by Ball State defensively. That's the first look we've seen of the ball rolling inside that shooting circle. Hannah Johnston, kick save and a beauty, wouldn't have counted regardless as it was struck from outside of that designated shooting area. But regardless, good to see her get into the flow of the match early. But now it is the Red Flash finding some offense. This is a game of field position. They've worked their way up via the free hit. They are beyond that 50-yard line. Now just trying to break through the 25-yard marker to try to get something going. However, it's a dangerous play in between the 25 and 50 on the far half of the field. It was mishandled by Emily Myers, who sent it a bit high. Deemed dangerous by Erin McGuire Osting, the official, who now signals for Ball State possession, which they do take indeed. This is Jessica Rochat with it. She gives up to the freshman Lauren Lewis, midfielder, lone freshman in this lineup for Ball State today as the clock strikes 11:52. Ball State maintains possession. They're just struggling to do much of anything with it. Now they've pushed beyond the 50 as Paloma Rengifo has it in the offensive end. Not for long as the play was whistled dead. We are back to the defensive side for the Cardinals. They're backed up to their own 25 with a turnover. That's where the Red Flash will take over in Consu de Castro. De Castro pushes inside the striking zone. This is the first real sustained offensive look we've seen. Ball State has the answers. Emma Van Hall, great defense, gets a stick to it and pushes the other direction. That is a goal-saving play.
Great defensive positioning by Van Hall, and really the whole Cardinals defense on that possession, making sure St. Francis didn't get a quality opportunity to shoot the ball.
Ball State wanted to be certain that nothing would get by. It did not. Hannah Johnston not tested. Instead, the Cardinals now have possession, heading the other direction. Playing a bit of dink and dunk here, looking to get their way down the field. However, the problem with that is one mishap causes a turnover. It's what happened there. Dolores Zavalita has it going the other way beyond the 50. The Red Flash moving full steam ahead. It's an overpass with a little bit too much steam. Couldn't be handled by Amy Mattingly, who could do nothing but jog as it wound up all the way out of play beyond that Ball State goal line. And now BSU takes over inside their own shooting circle. This is Lauren Lewis with it. Lewis, forehand, backhand, mishandled. We have a player on the ground. That's Emily Myers tripping up, trying to get to it. Play resumes as it was not dangerous. The member of the Red Flash has lost her footing. Wet turf clearly in play early and often. Not the first time we've seen a misstep. Also not the first time we've seen a ball take a weird carom. As with this wet playing surface. It definitely gets rid of the ability to lift and hop the ball. But it looks like that's where St. Francis has been going early. Now Ball State has possession over the middle. That is a dangerous play. Hooked to the ground is Emma Van Hall. She appears to be all right. Will get up and take her own free hit. She was slashed to the turf on the receiving end of that blow from Sophia Marciano of St. Francis.
This is a huge opportunity now off of that free hit for Ball State to potentially finally get a sustained possession going, potentially get it across the midfield mark and get some of this game to be played in their offensive zone rather than with their backs up against their own goalkeeper.
Great idea in theory. Instead, it's going to sizzle out of play. Last touch by a Cardinal. So now inside the offensive 25, going right to left are the St. Francis Red Flash. It's brought in on the far side by Brooklyn Wadess, who goes to the turf but is able to maintain possession. She'll now push upward to Amy Mattingly. Mattingly has it taken away from her momentarily. Grace Clokey's pushing the other direction. Now it winds up on the stick of Maya Guillen. This is a complete scrum in front of the net in the shooting circle that is eventually whistled dead. They'll say that the illegal action was made just outside of that D, so Ball State catches a break, but it is a very aggressive look here for the Red Flash, who get a free hit outside of the D. Hannah Johnston has other plans. She runs out of her crease and kicks it out of play. Good heads-up effort from the graduate student. You can tell she's done that a time or two. Plenty of experience from Big 52 in the cage to kick it out and get her team some sustained possession here as they push the other direction. Moving left to right of the Cardinals, it's a mishandle from Emma Van Hall, but she gets it back. Good recovery from Dolores Savaletta, has the first look inside the shooting circle. It's handled. Good defense from the Cardinals. Red Flash getting more offensive prowess early. They've got the pedal to the metal. But some good dangles on the far side from Lauren Lewis as Ball State ready to move the other direction. The pearl now is rolled beyond the half-yard line again. We're inside the 25, left to right. Ball State offensively able to just save it on the goal line is Paloma Renjifo. Ball State now getting their first good look. This is Rachel Bond with it. She moves towards the near sideline as the play is whistled dead. She kicked it, can't do that. Possession will go to the Red Flash inside their own 25. At least for the moment being, as Ball State sets up and tries to get a piece of it, they do. This is Emma Van Hall the other way. Right back into the offensive zone. Now in the striking circle, then the shooting D. She has it misplayed as she tried to deke her way through a couple of members for the Red and Black. Was not successful.
Good to see Ball State at least getting close to that shooting circle, but still no quality offensive shot attempts for the Cardinals just yet.
And that's an interesting one because number 44, Mia DiGenova, is a surprise start in the cage. She got the look over the redshirt senior for St. Francis University in Amber Bryan. But instead, it's DiGenova back there who hasn't been tested yet. Johnston has a couple of kick saves, nothing too serious. But with the clock striking 7:12 and the score still reading 0-0 from the Briner Sports Complex, the season opener between the Cardinals and Red Flash has stalled. Look for the first penalty corner potentially to get something going from either side. Teams have just struggled to get any long looks inside the shooting circle. That's typically where the best things happen in terms of offense.
Absolutely got to be inside of that shooting circle to shoot the ball in the net and have it count. So it's easier said than done because the defense knows that too. But for Ball State, I don't think they've had too many great sustained offensive possessions yet. I think St. Francis has outperformed them in the first half quarter of play or so. But the scoreboard's all that matters, and it says 0-0.
Read 0-0, clock says 6:30 in the first quarter of action of the fall for the Ball State Cardinals. This is the field hockey squad taking on the St. Francis Red Flash, who were 10-8 and 5-2 in the NEC a year ago. Good for a second place finish. Meanwhile, the Cardinals finished 6th of 8. It is now a 9-team field in the Mid-American Conference, but Caitlin Walsh, fresh off of a contract extension, looks to have her girls raring to go against a new-look team that was unable to retain much talent. The Cardinals currently stroking it from left to right. Have possession inside their own 25, but the fatal flaw to this point for Ball State has been their ability to maintain that possession. As fortunately it was a misplay from Allie Kirsch, her first time into the game for the Red Flash, who committed the dangerous action that will provide a free hit for Nadia Bradell, the first time she's been mentioned, but she is a special talent on the back end who quickly flicks backwards. Ball State going around the horn. Ball now on the far side of the pitch. It's going to try to be forced its way up. What a pass. It's now up to Reagan Kunkel. She's got 2 to beat to get to the 25. Instead, sends a contested pass. They'll say the defense too intentful as Emma Van Hall resets on the far end, and Ball State is now inside the striking zone. Looking to get to the D. Mishandled, and that has been the story, as just when they knock on the door, the Red Flash have the answer again. It's Amy Mattingly, listed as a forward. She's been playing midfield early. Wouldn't be able to tell. She has looked very good defensively. Closes the door again, at least for the moment. It's a big-time whistle. We're going to see the first penalty corner of the matchup. Seemed like a routine play as Grace Clokey kicked to Emma Van Hall for the Cardinals just to get any sort of pressure going. But, partner, you heard it. The whistle was blown. That's your first dangerous play just inside of the shooting circle. So the defense for the Flash will have to get masks on while Ball State gets the first look at a penalty corner with 5:13 to play in the first quarter. Scoreboard reading zeros. This the biggest opportunity in the early goings of this quarter, contest, and season for Ball State.
Absolutely. These penalty corners so crucial. St. Francis only allowed to have 5 players, including the goalkeeper, in the net. Ball State with a prime opportunity here. The rest of St. Francis's players behind the midline.
It will be Emma Hilton to send it from the goal line. Ball State has 4 set up atop the circle. The lone standing on the far side is Lauren Lewis. As Hilton sends to the top of the shooting circle, Ball State generates a look. Oh my goodness, it nearly went in. The goalie was out of position, but in the right place at the right time. The junior from Hatfield, Pennsylvania, Madison Waldsberger, got a stick to it.
Great presence there by Waldsberger. We talked about it in the pregame. She's one of the 4 returning starters. Her veteran presence and leadership certainly loomed large there.
Yeah, she started all 18 games a year ago. Just saved a goal for her squad just by barely outstretching enough of that shaft to get a piece of the ball that was seemingly going to steamroll in, and this is going to cause a goalie change. So Mia DiGenova was out of place there, and it is a new tender into the net now for a one-on-one. That's a goal. Ball State only had 1 opportunity in the entirety of their last season to get a one-on-one penalty with the keeper. But the first goal of the season clanks around the cage. It's penalties, the story early. St. Francis seemed to have a grip on the early goings of the contest. Ball State had other plans as it was a one-on-one with the keeper who was brought into the contest in Josie Ix. She couldn't stop it. The one-on-one between herself and Van Hall goes in favor of the Cardinals. I mean, it is near impossible to make a save when they are 5 feet in front of you with a free look like that.
Absolutely. That's not a great position to be a goaltender there. That's a tough task, and it's frustrating for St. Francis because I think we both agree that they've overall looked like the better team through most of this first quarter, but we talked about it. Those penalty corners, those opportunities down low in the striking circle, that's where the game is won and lost. Ball State just won the first big test there early.
So it was a penalty corner with good defense. However, away from the ball, there was contact. That led to a penalty stroke being called in favor of Emma Van Hall. The junior from the Netherlands has the first goal of the season for the Cardinals. And it's a big one for her. She didn't score in the entirety of the 2023-2024 campaign, despite starting in 13 games and appearing in 18. Her box score finished last year with 1 assist and no goals, where she's blown that wide open. Who's going to step up in the feet of Fleur Knopert? Really good sign from Van Hall to immediately make an impact. She was gifted the penalty stroke, took complete advantage, and now with 3:49 on the clock in the first quarter, the Cardinals lead at 1-0, with, again, no real sustained pressure from either side being generated out of the goal. It's just been back and forth around the 50. Ball State makes a quick substitution on the fly. Van Hall is checked out for the first time today in favor of Maya Guillen. Score of the lone Ball State goal has her team in the driver's seat. See how Ball State wants to play with the lead. Early answer aggressive. Paloma Rengifo inside the 25 for the first time since the break. Just misplaced a pass. That's easy work from Adeline Donmoyer, who pushes the other direction. Now Nadia Burdell has other plans. That's a nifty move at the 50. Here on the near side, Burdell looking to evade some defense, unable to do such. She flails the stick in the air, looking for a call, doesn't get what she wanted. Instead, Emily Myers has different plans. She's pushing the other direction and now inside the 25. Myers gives upfield to a stumbling Brooklyn Wadess, who Just fortunate to get it back to Dolores Zavaleta outside the 25. Ball State now defensively picks up a steal. They're going to have to carry the ball well and do. This is Lauren Lewis on the close side. All the way down, just wanted to get it out of the defensive zone. She pushes out of play with how far it rolled. St. Francis will set back up on their own end of the 50. To the inbound is Madeline Donmoyer. 2:20 to play. Ball State leads at 1-0 on the penalty stroke of Emma Van Hall, who found iron against Josie Iggis, who entered for Mia Dija Nova in net for the one-on-one penalty stroke. Didn't have the answer. She's still out there for the time being.
And how tough is that, not just to be in that situation one-on-one against a player, but fresh off the bench? It's a tough task.
Yeah, lots of trust from the first-year head coach, Mackenzie Alciesi, in her freshman from Redland, Pennsylvania. Really interesting, we haven't seen Amber Bryan yet. The redshirt senior goalkeeper played in 17 games last year for the Red Flash. But the Flash have other plans. Look at that nifty move. We're tied up at ones as inside the shooting circle from right to left, weaving her way through defenders. What seemed to be a routine stop for Ball State means otherwise. It is a goal for Kansu de Castro. Nifty move, shifting from right to left, all the way in there. Number 8 just deked her way through 3 Cardinals. After scoring 3 goals last year, the sophomore from Argentina has us all knotted at ones with 1:35 on the clock. Ball State quickly picks up possession out of the break, but how about that? I mean, now you see me, now you don't, just somehow evading and weaving her way through the defense. That seemed to be a routine play for Ball State, but now all of the momentum in the corner of St. Francis.
Absolutely, that was great offensive communication, great presence by the players down there inside the striking circle, allowing a quality shooting opportunity to be created, and in this case, capitalized on. And for that, St. Francis responding to Ball State's goal off the penalty earlier. And now we got a brand new game, 1-1. I think you're going to see this game start to open up a little bit more with the teams now a bit more comfortable, in sync, feeling each other out a little bit. Should be a fun rest of the way.
So with 1:17 to go in the first quarter, we have officially reset as either tally has come unassisted. It was a penalty stroke from Emma Van Hall to start the scoring on the 2024 season for Ball State. But with an answer in the same quarter thereafter, Kansu de Castro left drop bodies on the way, but no doubt as she sliced her way through the Ball State defense. Ryan, the first timeout has been called out of the corner of Caitlin Walsh. My question for you, obviously getting into the flow of the contest, Ball State has 2 shots to St. Francis's tallied 1, which was credited with the goal. I would argue maybe 2 or 3 have really been put on goal from St. Francis. It looks like they've been the team that has had the upper hand in holding on to possession and being smart with the rock.
Absolutely, and on paper, the shots on goal say one thing, and and then that matters, and I'm not trying to dispute that, but at the end of the day, the game's not played on paper, it's played out there on the pitch, and I think that just from us watching this match unfold, it does feel like, in terms of just sustained possession, maybe not always resulting in quality shots, St. Francis just really looks more in sync. Their passing has been more efficient, which is impressive because, again, only 4 returning starters for the Red Flash this year from last year's squad that finished second in the Northeast Conference. So again, it's 1-1, and that's what matters, but St. Francis, I think, has outplayed the Cardinals just in terms of possession. I think we're starting to see Ball State trying to stretch the field a little bit more, trying some longer passes. I just think it's going to be a key for Ball State making those offensive adjustments, maybe trying some new things, spreading out a little bit more on the pitch. But overall, again, we're both in agreement. St. Francis has looked like the better team, and maybe not having the shots on goal to show for it, but just in terms of what we've observed, their communication, their chemistry, and their passing out there on the pitch.
Absolutely correct. But with all this being said, I think it kind of goes without saying what we've seen to this point. 80% or more of this action has been between the 25s. However, out of the timeout, we see why Ball State wanted to go to it. This will be inside the defensive 25 for the Cardinals, all the way down the left side of the field. It's a penalty corner being set up in favor of the Red Flash out of the break. With Madison Waltzberger to do the inbounding, a real chance touring this one open. Ball State has 5 set up inside the cage. Pass in. Right back to Waltzberger. She'll be the one who takes the shot. Ricochet attempt, no good. Johnston gets a glove to it. Nice save from 52. Ball State does their job on the penalty corner with 1:06 to play. We're tied at 1 apiece on a nice save inside the iron.
Nice save indeed. That one was shot initially from just inside that striking circle, but it was deflected out in front, and a great heads-up play by Johnson in the goal cage to keep this game tied.
We're now under a minute to play in the first quarter, still tied at 1 apiece. Both sides have had a penalty corner. Neither has scored on such. Ball State had 1 penalty stroke in the entirety of their last season. Their first goal in 2024 came on a stroke from Emma Van Hall. On the other end, it was in regular action that Consu de Castro tied things up. It's a 1-1 ball game with 30 seconds to play in the first quarter of action from Brenner Sports Complex. Sunny day has not affected the women out on the pitch. The clock continues to tick. It doesn't seem like we'll get any real offensive pushes here. St. Francis intent with just running out the clock in their defensive zone. Ball State doing their best to get any touch and look on it that they can. But SFU taking their time. The clock now reads 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 3, 2, and 1. So the first quarter has come and gone. Ball State Field Hockey has their campaign underway, and it's a good one. 1-1, tied through 1 quarter. I'm AJ Swiatek, joined by Ryan Stojetz. It was Roen Elbert on the pregame show. Myself and Ryan will be back with coverage of the second quarter and the entirety of this match that you do not want to miss. It's Ball State 1, St. Francis 1 on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least 1 Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
Welcome back to the Brenner Sports Complex. Only a couple of ticks remaining in the break between quarter 1 and 2 here in the first half. If you're just joining us, my name's AJ Swiatek. My partner in crime this beautiful afternoon from Muncie, Indiana is Ryan Stojetz. Ryan, all tied at 1 apiece between the Cardinals and Red Flash. A lot to like from either side in their inaugural quarter of the summer.
Yeah, I think both teams had some things to like. I think as we've talked about, St. Francis has probably looked a little bit better overall. But again, the key is going to be these penalty corners. Each team has had one opportunity. Neither have scored directly on the penalty corner, but Ball State had a penalty stroke right after the penalty corner and scored on that to open up the scoring. St. Francis since answered with a game-tying tally later on in the first quarter. But this has been a fun one, and I'm eager to see how these teams adjust to each other as we begin quarter number 2.
Will be SFU starting in possession of the Pearl as the wet turf is tested early. The second quarter is underway. We're deadlocked at 1s with St. Francis in possession for the moment being. They're at the 50. On the far side, losing it was Chloe Butts out of bounds. However, it was out on Grace Clokey of the Cardinals. So it's a free hit for the squad rocking their red and black uniforms, the St. Francis Red Flash, who mishandled it, and Ball State has a chance to push the other direction. Immediately whistled dead. Grace Clokey now tries to move it the other way. We're near the striking circle on the right-hand side, where Paloma Renjifo has it. Tries to play backwards to Nadia Bradell. Is able to do such as they just keep it on the latter end of the 50. Won't stay that way for long. A steamer well beyond Rachel Bond. Ends up rattling out of play. Actually made contact with a folding table out there. Been a relatively good turnout here. Certainly comfortably over 100 from the Brenner Sports Complex. Ready for this Ball State home opener They're knotted up at ones with 13:58 to play in the second quarter, and their squad rumbling forward. Zemma Van Hall, she's already scored once today. Trying to push inside the D. Able to do such. She had a chance at a windup. Instead, it's whistled dead. Ball State's not going to complain about that. We'll see the first penalty corner of this second quarter as play was whistled dead due to the dangerous play inside the shooting circle, moving left to right for the Cardinals. They'll get a second try, 0 for 1 today on their corners.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens here as you see these St. Francis players getting their masks on. Again, 5 defensive players, counting the goalkeeper, allowed to be in the goal cage for the penalty corner, while Ball State's players are lining up just on the outskirts of that striking circle. So again, these penalty corners often produce some of the best opportunities for scoring in an entire field hockey match.
That they do. Ball State set up all around the D. 5 defenders inside the cage. Emma Hilton hit it from the left-hand side of that goal line.
Yeah, reset the clock to 13:45.
The clock is being reset to 13:45. That was the stop in play signaled for by Jan Stanky. Final officials. With things tied at ones, Piers in alongside everyone from Briner Sports Complex, and the biggest opportunity to this point, Hilton. Ricochets inbound. It's handled cleanly. 2 taps. First shot, no good. Second, good dangle. Effort over the goal. Grace Clokey had a good opportunity to bury one. Just couldn't find the hatchet to the wood. Instead, it's just a little bit high of that presumed scoring area. But Ball State does a good job to maintain possession out of the corner. Now they're trying to look to get something going.
Great stick handling there by Clokey. Unfortunately, the shot a little bit high, maybe a little bit wide. It would have been close had it been a little bit lower, but still quality opportunity for Ball State. Nothing to be too upset about on that penalty corner attempt.
Nevertheless, the Cardinals do move to 0 for 2 on penalty corners on the outing. We're still tying at 1 apiece with 13:11 to play in the second quarter. This is Rachel Bond moving on the offensive end. Ball State doing a much better job of keeping the ball on the opposition side of the 50 to kick off this second quarter. It's where SFU outplayed them in the first. Let's get right back on track here after the misplay. Allows Madeline Donmoyer a free hit from inside her own 25. She'll quickly push between the 25 and 50 now on the near end. Sophia Marciano has it. She's going to push it all the way upfield. Brooklyn Wadess has to run just to get to it, but she tracks it down. We're now near the goal line on Ball State's side, where it is hit out of the field of play by Lauren Lewis after it left the pitch. We'll allow a look from Marciano. Inside Ball State's 25, St. Francis is pushing. This is Madeline Donmoyer. Everyone trying to deke for an opening. However, it does not look they'll be able to do it. As after being tied up, Cleo Van Rossel able to get Ball State's possession back. Here's Van Hel. Tries to get it to an outstretched Renhefo in the defensive zone. That's an errant pass, however.
Yeah, that can't happen because now St. Francis has a prime opportunity to generate a quality offensive possession already down near that striking circle.
Couldn't have put it better myself, Ryan. After sending it out of play, St. Francis now has possession inside the 25. Looking to take advantage of Ball State's mishap. They can't. The Cardinals are going to push the other direction. Pinpoint accuracy on the pass to get it out by Renhefo. Pushing forward is Lauren Lewis off of the QB1 feed. Number 15 all the way to the end line. Had it battled out of play over there by Madison Waldsberger. She's been all over the place, but Ball State holds on to possession. Inside the offensive end again. Near sideline. Forcing around the horn. Unable to get to it is Nadine Lopes. But now Ball State's going to push up the middle as Lauren Lewis had a look at one after stealing an inbound pass from the Red Flash, but ultimately it won't surmount to much, at least for the time being. Ball State at the striking circle, just looking to get into the dance, punch a ticket here. Their effort to get inside the D. Fortunately, there's no admission allowed, as the defense of Sophia Marciano, once again, too much for the Cardinals. We've said her name early and often, Ryan. She has been a force to be reckoned with on the defensive end.
Certainly, she's been one of the players that has looked better out there in the pitch early on. Again, we're about a third of the way into the second quarter. We'll see how these teams fare. Again, really hot one out there in Muncie, Indiana, so we'll see how well conditioned they are.
As St. Francis pushes all the way into the D, they'll get a look. Hannah Johnston makes it look routine. Lauren Marciano, I think it's interesting that she's seeing not only extensive playing time early, but taking complete advantage. This is a St. Francis team now that only brought back 4 starters, and Marciano's taking complete advantage. The freshman middle fielder from Buenos Aires, Argentina, remains on the pitch in a 1-1 game with the clock now reading 10:08 in the second quarter of action. Again, just stall out around the 50. It's about getting those looks inside the D. They don't come often, but when they do, you've got to take complete advantage. Both sides have done it once apiece. That's why we're deadlocked at matchsticks. Dolores Zavaleta with it in the offensive end for St. Francis. They're able to infiltrate the 25, not for long. This one just pokeyed a play near the goal line. However, they will say it went out on a Cardinal, so St. Francis does retain possession, now looking to push into the shooting circle. Hit it inside the striking end on the far side. Stolen by Van Hall. She'll move the other way. Number 7 for the squad, rocking all white with the black numerals. Tries to tomahawk, rip it up the field. Opponent lost the stick in the process, is deemed dangerous. So Ball State will maintain possession between their own 25 and the halfway stripe. 9:10 to play, tied at 1s in the second quarter between Ball State Field Hockey and the St. Francis Red Flash. This action continues to take its toll here on the time. 15-minute quarters allow for so much to change so fast. Just about getting the look upfield. That's what St. Francis looks to do as they take over possession at the 50. It quickly goes right back to the Cardinals. Now dangling around the defense is Rachel Bond. She sends it too far back into her own end. That's costly.
Too many misfires on passes for Ball State so far, for sure.
Absolutely. Now Kylie Hager will have a free hit, but you had exactly where I was going with it. Ball State just has not been on the same page communicatively a few times early. It's allowed the ball to scream out of play. Every time a bit more costly than the one prior. One a play on the far end just to keep it alive. Emmeline Harder into the contest for the first time for Ball State. Looks to go coast to coast all by herself, and she's doing it. She's inside the shooting circle. That's where play is whistled dead. Really a miraculous effort from number 10, the freshman from Richmond, Virginia, just to keep it in. And it's going to allow her team a look inside the offensive end of their 25. So Ball State has a prime scoring chance off of what the freshman just garnered downfield. They'll dish it right back to her, try to let her do it herself, unable to do such. She can't get through the brick wall on the far end. St. Francis had her cornered. The Red Flash take over inside their defensive zone.
Yeah, that was a tough situation there for Ball State. They had the ball in the area near the striking circle, but they were in that corner, as you said, so kind of a tough angle to generate an offensive possession from.
7:25 to play. Contest tied at 1 apiece. Ball State looks to break open the affair in their favor. From a sunny, brighter sports complex, it feels like a summer day. Look at that. Is that an eagle flying over the pitch?
I think it is.
Closer to a Cardinal, a Red Flash. Be a good sign from above for the Cardinals. Trying to take over possession. Struggle in doing such is just cutting off the pass at the last moment is Jessica Rochette. However, in order to do such, it flares off of the tip of her stick. That crooked end has the clock reading 6:40 with SFU in possession. The better half of the 50. Play whistle dead. It'll be a free hit for the Cardinals. We'll have to go backwards. Nadia Bradell has it inside her own 25. Now pushes on the near side. Ball State looking to infiltrate the 50. That'll help. She just sprayed it off of Sophia Marciano's lower half. It winds up out of play here on the near outline. With 6:14 to play in a tied second quarter, Nadia Bradell and the Cardinals take over possession in their own defensive half. Another misplaced pass. Now we'll see if St. Francis can't make him pay. This is Katsu de Castro with it. She misplays it herself. Moving the other direction is Emma Hilton. Ball State looking to move all the way on that far side. It's a deep battle out there. Again. Risky pass upfield, mishandled by a Red Flash. Then a Cardinal winds up out of play. Quickly, Rachel Bond is able to get possession at the 50. Number 19 slaps forward. Now in a summit of defense is number 2, Maddie Summit. the junior from Washington, New Jersey. The academic all-MAC squad last year now is inside the 25. Dishes back to Bradell. They're just playing give and go here as the hot potato doesn't wind up going anywhere. St. Francis gets the whistle they were looking for. It'll be a free hit just outside their striking dotted line.
And we'll see if St. Francis can capitalize on the free hits they've gotten and use it to generate sustained offensive possession, because Ball State, they've had a few free hits in the last couple minutes, but it hasn't resulted in a lot of sustained possession for the Cardinals.
The answer there is no. It's immediately sprained out of bounds. No one there on the far side. So with just under 5 to play in the second quarter of a tied game at ones, Ball State still has possession on the better half of the field, but now it's misplayed on their end. Getting a little too aggressive is the freshman from England, lone starter, who is able to call themselves such for Ball State today, is Lauren Lewis. She got the nod from Caitlin Walsh as just a freshman. The last time that really saw an impact player like that, obviously goes without saying what Fleur Knoper did for Ball State. Her absence has been felt early. Ball State hasn't got the offensive looks they wanted, but the defense has been sharp inside their own shooting circle. That's Lauren Lewis, woman of the hour, getting a stick to it and forcing St. Francis outside the 25. How about that, to reach all the way out and ensure that with 4:10 on the clock, the Red Flash don't get a good look. Now, end over end, SFU misplayed it. That was a really good effort from Lauren Lewis. Heimer's college high school graduate, now turned Ball State Cardinal. Got her stick on it the second it entered the D.
Yeah, great defense there. Always want to make your opponent make a move. Don't give them time to think.
Allows things to stay tight at ones. St. Francis does have possession, moving right to left. They just break into the 25. Bit of a stalemate here. Consu de Castro, who's already got one today, now has ball in her possession. She'll immediately reach a double team. Is Ball State ready, or are they? Deking into the D. Hannah Johnston has to get a foot to it. Now everyone making effort. It is a dangerous play inside the shooting circle. St. Francis with 3:12 to play in the second quarter, deadlocked at ones, has earned their second penalty corner.
Yeah, haven't seen a goal yet here in this second quarter. We are tied at one, but both of those goals came back in the first, but we'll see if the Red Flash have anything to say about that.
This is a St. Francis team that finished 4th in the NEC preseason poll. They're finishing 2nd there a year ago. It was the postseason disappointment, the big story. Being a first-round boot, this team coming out with only 4 returners still appear to have a chip on their shoulder. Here's the penalty corner, sent in, 3 taps at the top of the circle. The shot saved. Emily Myers now trying again. It just misses the outer post. They had Hannah Johnston fooled. The shot just wide. We stay tied at ones. Call it 0 for 4 between these two sides, who have now missed 2 apiece on their penalty corners today with under 3 to play in a tied second quarter.
That was close. If Ball State ends up winning this game, remember that right there, because that was a prime opportunity for St. Francis that they nearly capitalized on.
That they did. Sometimes better to be lucky than good. Luck was on the side of the Cardinals there, who now with 2.5 to play in the second quarter likely feel a bit fortunate to still be tied at ones. There was an open look. It was just misplayed. And now we'll see if anyone can get a serious look here with under 2.5 to play. It wasn't something we saw in the first quarter, as really when the clock started to dwindle, you saw both teams starting to play a little bit more timid, really not looking to make the big mistake that would let another team make a strike. Let's see if that changes here, as possession is again lollygagging near the 50. Clock now reads 2:10, still tied at 1. St. Francis has possession. So much for timid play. They're looking to make a shot at the D here. They do get in. It's a tomahawk effort going to the ground just to get any contact on a shot. You know, they say all shots are good shots in this sport. Allie Kirsch, you're going to prove that true there, but that really wasn't competitive. Falling to the ground, tomahawk doesn't find any piece of the cage. And now with 1.5 minutes to go, it does appear both sides being a bit more formidable defensively. You see both St. Francis and Ball State having a few drag towards their goal to ensure that at the very least they feel they'll stay tied at ones heading into the half.
Yeah, and I'm eager to see, kind of to your point, will we kind of revert back to a lot of this match being played between those 25-yard marks toward midfield for this final minute, as teams are just ready to get to the halfway point.
Ball State has it within their own 25. Just looking to play keep away. Much easier said than done when you've got Sofia Marciano on your hands, who again is in there and active. She's made good plays defensively, the freshman midfielder from Buenos Aires. Now has possession inside the 25 that will quickly dwindle as Nadia Bradell is garnering a free hit from the corner. Near side, Bradell sends outside her own 25. However, it's quickly handled cleanly by Dolores Zavalita. 11 on 11 crime. She moves in. And a carom, weird one off of the turf there, just skied over the end line. Maybe got a piece of someone's foot on the way, but regardless, we now are under 30 seconds remaining in the first, and St. Francis not going down without a foul. They want to make a quick push here in a tied game. And wow, they did just that. Ball State dropping their heads. You can immediately read the body language. Ryan, with just 20 seconds to play in the second quarter. SFU not throwing in the towel. They stayed aggressive, and it pays off. We're deadlocked at ones, but maybe not for long. This will be a penalty corner, their third try of the day.
And you just mentioned it, AJ. You don't want to be the team that makes a mistake this late in the half after you've played so hard for the first 30 minutes of play, but again, Ball State was that team, unfortunately, got a little too aggressive in their own defensive zone, and St. Francis has another penalty corner opportunity as a result.
That they do. 20 seconds to play in the first half, tied at ones. Whiteass sends in. Immediately handled and doing it herself. Shot in, what a save. Madison Waltzberger sends a shot, it's another save. With 13 seconds left in the second quarter, Hannah Johnston takes matters into her own hands. Brick walls one, stone walls the next. And we'll head into the half tied at one apiece. Hannah Johnston saves the day, and we are tied. Ryan, that quickly could have gone south.
Fortunate to be tied are the Cardinals because, my goodness, Johnston making the first save off of the initial shot from the penalty corner, but then it got back right near the edge of that striking circle to a St. Francis player, but she made a second save off of a shot that got a weird bounce. Not sure if it just hit the turf weird or hit another player or what, but Johnston had to get up a little bit, getting the hand out there. You love to see it from the goalkeeper, and she's the reason this game's still tied. Ball State, crucial mistake, committing a foul in their own defensive zone so late in the first half, but doesn't matter now. We're tied going into halftime.
And it's what you've grown to expect from number 52, but let's give Hannah Johnston her flowers. This is a goaltender that Ball State Sports Link produced a story on called Connecting the Pieces. Really awesome, available on all of SportsLink's social platforms, whether it be Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube. It's out there, and it's one you should watch because this is a goaltender unlike any that Ball State has had in recent memory. The graduate student from Sterling, Virginia, is the sole reason that this match is tied at the half, and it's one we've grown to expect. She accumulated 128 saves last season with an average of 7.11 per game. That's first in the MAC and sixth in the country. Hannah Johnston clearly hasn't missed a step.
Yeah, and she's already being tested a lot this season. I mean, St. Francis, in terms of shots, out-shooting Ball State 6-4. In terms of shots on goal, 5 of those 6 St. Francis shots have gotten to Hannah Johnston being shots on goal, and she's been ready. She's constantly answered the call for Ball State in years past, and already in this match, she's a big reason why the Cardinals are still tied right now.
Hannah Johnston, 5 saves in the first half. The Ball State Cardinals' lone goal came on the Emma Van Hall penalty stroke. On the other side, it was Kamsu de Castro in regular action, knotting things up in the first. A scoreless second quarter has us deadlocked at ones. It's time for the halftime period. We'll be back just out of the break with continual coverage of Ball State's field hockey opener against the visiting St. Francis Red Flash. I'm AJ Swiatek, joined by Ryan Stojetz. You won't want to miss a lick of it. We'll be back soon on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is Sports Link Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
The first thing that I need to do with this half, a massive shout out goes to the entire Ball State SportsLink staff between Chris Taylor, Alex Cartman, and Al Szymanski. You are listening to a brand new look Ball State SportsLink. You're seeing it on your feeds. You're hearing it with the new packages. Seriously, immense improvement has been done in the offseason, if you can even call it such. Ryan, just so great to see this program continue to flourish here. There's a reason Ball State SportsLink has the catalysts and accolades it does. It's with the fearless leaders who have put together an even better look and feel for Ball State SportsLink for the 24-25 campaign and presumably beyond.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself. Just we're so fortunate to have great leaders that run the SportsLink program and allow us to do things like this, like that we get to call college sports together. I mean, that's just so amazing. And this new equipment, as you said, it's perfect. It looks great. It sounds great. It feels great. And I think it's going to be a big year for us here at SportsLink Digital, bringing you last year was 100 events we did on SL Digital. I think it's going to be even more than that this year. So huge shout out to all the higher ups at SportsLink for making this happen and allowing us to do what we love, and that's talk about sports. And yeah, again, just echoing your sentiment at how great this new equipment is, how much we love doing this, and just how grateful we are to continue to have opportunities to do it.
Couldn't have put it any better myself, Ryan. The coverage has been awesome, and with 4:14 to go, let's resume that coverage. What we were talking about, we have just under 5 minutes left in the half, tied at 1 apiece. Ryan, I'm really going to lean into you here. What jumped out to you in the front half of this contest? There's still 30 minutes to play. What are you looking for? What jumped out to you? Really take it the direction you like.
I was impressed at St. Francis's team chemistry. They had more efficient passing, especially in the first quarter. I felt like a lot of the game was being played towards Ball State's defensive zone, and that's why that's how they've got their only tally so far. But what I really need to see from them, and I bet you this is probably what they're talking about in their halftime break, is just it's got to be better passing, got to be more efficient passing, got to know where your teammates are out there on the pitch. Yes, it's the first game of the season. You have some new faces. You're just kind of trying to, get under yourself, feel your teammates out, feel the other team out, just get a feel for the game. Ball State really hasn't done that, I think, to the best of their ability. So I think the passing has to be better. They have to have more sustained possession. And look, the penalty stroke was great, but you can't necessarily rely on getting too many of those opportunities and capitalizing on them. So just in the regular field of play, I think Ball State has to communicate better. They have to work well as a team. And even when they get those free hits, it's kind of frustrating for the Cardinals because it seems that off of those free hits, they either have to pass it backwards or it ends just quickly in a turnover for them, and St. Francis is able to generate a possession rather than Ball State. So it's a tie game. That's what matters. But Ball State, I think, will have to make some adjustments if they want to keep this game tied and eventually pull ahead.
Well, the good news there is, reading between the lines, there's plenty to criticize on both sides' play. It's tied, so Ball State has to feel pretty good about the fact this is a 1-1 match. A lot of it has been due to Hannah Johnston, but let's also highlight what has been going on in the cage from Mia DiGenova. She actually didn't even sacrifice the lone goal against her squad as Josie Ickes was brought into the contest for the penalty stroke. DiGenova has been out of place at times, but where it matters most, she's been locked down. 2 saves for the woman in net for the Red Flash.
Absolutely, and it's a huge vote of confidence putting a sophomore in net on opening day. And again, a few times where I thought maybe, like you said, out of position, could have handled a certain thing better. But overall, it's been good enough because we're tied. And I think that, again, the game's going to be won and lost inside that striking circle, whether it's just with a quality offensive chance or whether it's from a penalty stroke or penalty corner. Both goaltenders are going to have to be on their game. And overall for DeGenova, again, didn't give up that goal on the penalty stroke, but still there were a few times where it felt like she was fortunate to have not given up a goal when Ball State had good opportunities. So we'll see what happens, but I think both teams are going to be really ready to go here, fresh off of a halftime break. Get hydrated, get some water. It's a hot one out there, ready for the final 30 minutes of play.
Well, there you have it. Still a half hour of action on deck. We'll have coverage of the third quarter and beyond, but first, a quick word from our sponsor of SportsLink Digital Radio.
You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Your home for live Ball State sports.
Indiana's top sports media school in 2024 by the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters.
This is Ball State SportsLink. From trivia night at Brothers and tater tots at Roots.
Never miss a Ball State game with SportsLink Digital.
The half is winding down. You heard it, landmarks all across Muncie, Indiana, whether it be Roots, Brothers, or right here at Briner Sports Complex. I'm loving every minute of it. I'm AJ Swiatek, joined by Ryan Stojetz. The buzzer has sounded. We're tied at 1 apiece, and it's time for Ball State to start with possession at the 50 to kick off the third quarter of play. All knotted up. St. Francis felt they had the upper hand in the first half, but where it matters most on the scoreboard, we're tied in the goals category at 1 apiece. With matchsticks on the board, third quarter underway. Ball State sends back into their own side, looking to go around the horn. Play just off the tippy toe of this hit from Maya Guillen, who is folded up, but fortunately for her, no whistle. Both sides had paused expecting one. Instead, Ball State will hold possession. As Emma Hilton now on the better half of the 50. Ball State now moves right to left. St. Francis left to right as the switch out of the half. Cardinals look to infiltrate Mia DeGenova's shooting circle. Ball State has had possession for the first 30 seconds of this half. Definitely a good sign for a team that lost the time of possession battle in the first half. Ball State pushes inside the striking zone. Now just mere feet from the D. Ball State immediately forces an error from the pocket of St. Francis with under a minute bleeding off of the clock in this third quarter. Call it 14:04 remaining, 56 off the clock. Ball State had a near perfect first minute. They held possession the whole time and have earned a penalty corner here with a chance to take the lead.
And remember, at the end of the first half, it was St. Francis who got that penalty corner opportunity offensively. Couldn't capitalize on it. That's why we're still tied. We'll see if the fate's any different for Ball State here early in the third quarter.
It's the wicked minute in hockey, the first and last of each quarter and period of action. Ball State looks to get a sneaky one here. 14:02, it's sent in and whistled dead as one of the 5 in St. Francis's cage has to go out to midfield. She left early, so there now will only be 4 defensively for the Red Flash. Ball State has a prime opportunity. 1-1, third quarter, 14 exactly on the clock. Emma Hilton from the goal line sends in, quick wind-up effort, it's saved. Lunging save again, DeGenova. Wow, she went completely horizontal. Emma Van Hal wanted a second. You can see where the Cardinals are turning in the absence of Flurk and Elbert. But DeGenova just stacked the pads, flying poke check, 13:40 to play. We're still tied, make it 0 for 6 now combined between these two teams on the penalty corners. The best player for either side has been their tender. So at 13:30 to play, it's 1-1, the score from Briner Sports Complex. As Ball State takes possession in the offensive end, they look like a new team out of the half. This is Emma Hilton. She'll send back within their own side of the 50, only momentarily, as Ball State really just playing keep away here. Gonna tip it back and forth. That's a nifty move. Kansu de Castro sent into a spin cycle by Jessica Rochat. Allows Ball State to hold on to possession now to Grace Clokey, who has play whistle dead. She'll garner a free hit. Actually opt to give to Maya Guillen for said hit. Sends right back to Clokey, now to Hilton near the shooting circle. Hilton locks sticks with the opposition, both sides holding on to the ball fiercely. St. Francis wins the joust. The ball hops out of the shooting circle. Now SFU's moving the other direction in a flash. Whistle dead in the action was Emma Van Hall. Really good effort from the Cardinals. Feels like out of the first 2.5 minutes from the half, they had possession for the entirety of it. Now we'll see how St. Francis wants to set up with their first real true textbook look from the 50.
Yeah, regardless, though, very encouraging first few minutes of this third quarter for Ball State. A lot of quick passes, a lot of players playing with their heads up, looking, scanning the field, always knowing where their teammates are. An encouraging start for Ball State in this half.
That it has been, as St. Francis just appears to be a bit more gassed than Ball State right now. The Cardinals are running by the red flash. As, again, possession moves back and forth around the 50. Just free hit for the Cardinals, free hit for the red flash. Either side looks to penetrate forward. It will be St. Francis with another look to do it. Amy Mattingly just kind of lofts one. A lift kick into the striking area has things whistled dead. Ball State will have a free hit from just beyond their own 25. Again, moving right to left now in this second half. On the near side with it, just beyond the out-of-bounds line is Jessica Rochat, who inbounds. It's clean over to Lauren Lewis. Now going around the horn is Nadia Burdell as Ball State wants to push on the far side, but that's a bad pass. St. Francis takes possession. Emma Hilton steals it from a pair of them. Now she looks to deke her way through. All happening within the realm of the 25s, but Emma Hilton is doing it herself. What a pass upfield. This is Paloma Rengifo. 3-on-2. Ball State in the circle. Nutmeg. Oh, no. Couldn't bury it. Rachel Bond was all alone. It was a beautiful pass between the defense. Actually went through the legs of Dolores Zavaleta, but when it's all said and done with 10:50 to go, Ball State has had about 4 minutes of possession here in the second half, as opposed to St. Francis is under a minute, just nothing to show for it tangibly yet.
Yeah, not quite, but still really encouraging. A great pass from Emma Hilton on the far side, hitting Rengifo in stride, and then she hit it down inside the striking circle, looking to find one of her teammates, just couldn't quite connect, but still a really encouraging sequence for Ball State, even if they don't have anything to show for it just yet.
That was a very impressive showing of both team chemistry and skill. Ball State still has possession, just now back around the 50. It's at that halfway hash, Jessica Rochat tries to move in. She'll opt to give it to Grace Clokey to do such, who quickly dishes backwards to Lauren Lewis. Everyone on Ball State touching the ball early. Now it's Maya Guillen. She's the one who's able to get inside the 25. She gives far side to Paloma Rengifo. Rengifo dribbles it off of her own twig beyond the back line. She's trying to rally that it was off of SFU. Argument good enough. It changes the call of Erin McGuire-Osting, the official down there, who now signals for Ball State free hit. They'll shoot it all the way down back to their own side of the 50. Nadia Burdell misplays it. So when it's all said and done, SFU will still have possession right at their own 25. With now 9:33 to play in the third quarter of a tight game at ones from the Bryner Sports Complex. Opposition's 23. Amy Mattingly now goes toe-to-toe with Burdell. She's able to get a nice pass upfield. St. Francis moves beyond the halfway mark as Chloe Butts is with it. Now inside the 25 and quickly into the striking circle. Kylie Hager has it hammered off of her stick. Ultimately to just enough to maintain her team's possession. It's a free hit inside the 25. These are the prime opportunities you live for as a field hockey player. Emily Myers down by the goal line, left to right, trying to work her way through the defense. Lauren Lewis is there with a stick. She's able to get it out. Nice play defensively from the Cards. Makes it look routine as she pushes to Maya Guillen, who just has her pass saved inbounds by Reagan Kunkel. Kunkel moves forward. Ball State pushing. Now near the 25, this is Maddie Summit. Summit leaves it back for Kunkel. They're doing a little give and go, and it's working. Number 15 pushing inside the shooting circle. She'll have a one-on-one look, and is just poked away by Amy Mattingly. Good recovery from Mattingly defensively, but Ball State still has pressure. This Maya Guillen. Inside the shooting circle, Guillen to Hilton. Hilton tries to go back to Guillen. Instead, it's stolen away, and now SFU moves the other direction. The black and red behind the stick of Chloe Butts. Move to the offensive side of the 50, but that is where it's re-gripped in a chokehold by Jessica Rochat. Ball State has looked like the far more dominant team through half of this third quarter. Pass in, missed, almost deceiving the score. Maddie Summit just couldn't get a piece.
Great pad save by DeGenova to keep this game tied off of the shot from Summit down low.
Summit wanted another try, again couldn't tap it. That was a prime scoring opportunity. Ball State's now generated a couple of those here in the third. Come out firing whatever was said in that locker room by Caitlin Walsh. Clearly has her team raring to go. Ball State has dominated this third quarter that now has 7:23 on the clock. Still tied at 1 apiece, where both goals were scored back in the first quarter of play. St. Francis rallying for possession. They'll get it. This is Kansu de Castro with the free hit. Looking for a teammate. Can't dribble off of this. She lifts all the way near the shooting circle. Aggressive look. Ultimately will just forfeit possession. As the high arcing pass, far too dangerous in that area of play. Jessica Rochat initially immediately signaled for it. And now with 6:49 to play, Ball State takes over just outside their own shooting circle. Risky pass to Burdell. She can't handle it. Look out now. SFU sets up inside the circle. Offensively, good effort. It's a kick. And it'll be a penalty corner awarded to St. Francis. It's an age-old rule in hockey. You don't pass back across your own goal. Good things typically don't happen. Not exactly sure what the look was there, but trying to get it to Burdell. Going to prove costly. It'll be a penalty corner after the mishandle inside the shooting circle. Led to a really good look here for St. Francis, who, if they can score and take advantage, after really only having the ball for under 2 minutes in this entire half, this could flip this thing on its head.
Absolutely. Ball State's looked like the much better team here to start the second half, but this is St. Francis's first really serious offensive opportunity of the third quarter.
6:35 to play in the third. We're tied at 1. Here is that serious look. It's Whiteass inbounding. Pass in. Shot. No good. It's wide. As it's really unprecedented. Penalty corners considered the marquee scoring opportunity in field hockey for those unfamiliar with the game played on the 100-yard wet pitch. But to this point, a combined 0 for 7 between the two teams.
Yeah, and that's disappointing for St. Francis. You want to, at the very least, get a shot on net. Give yourself a chance on the penalty corner. Instead, they just fire it wide.
Both sides, again, lobbying for possession. This is Nadine Lopes in again. First time we've seen her in the second half. Well, actually, dribble and deke herself all the way near the shooting circle, but when it came to a one-on-one, the brick wall of Cruz Canepa was too much, as the freshman from Barcelona, who played field hockey at Colegio Santo Angel, was able to take advantage. So it's now a 5:42 time mark. Third quarter of a tied game, the opener between Ball State and St. Francis. Both sides looking for as serious of a look as they could get. Ball State will get a free hit just inside the 25. They look to take advantage. Immediate aggressive look to Summit. Ball State's been feeding her early and often here in the third. She garners a whistle from the far side. Jan Stanky saw enough to signal for a penalty corner, and with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the third quarter, game tied at 1. Just a minute and a half removed from SFU's try from the corner. Ball State will get one.
We just talked about it because St. Francis just had this opportunity not that long ago at all. 0 for 7 on penalty corners combined. That's going to be something that, no matter how this game ends, if a team capitalizes on one of these penalty corners, odds are they have a good chance to win the game.
First time we've seen a switch for the Cardinals. Instead of Hilton, it's Lopes to inbound. Number 24 lunges in her stance. As Ball State looks to catch this SFU team off guard. The red flash all inside their own cage, eyeing down the Pearl. Royal Rumble's underway. Everyone running. Going to be one try for a shot. Scooping effort again. Down to a flying poke check to make the stop is Mia DeGenova. She stacks the pads and had the scouting report ready. That time, it was more preemptive than anything. She got down to a horizontal stance, was able to stop it. Play is whistled dead again as Ball State will get yet another penalty corner. Mia DeGenova has done her job and then some. Just stacking those pads, getting the routine save. That time, Almost like she had a crystal ball. She knew what was coming. She was already on her side before the shot was even fired.
Absolutely, and that's really impressive because, it's the first game of the season. Don't really have too much film you can watch on the team that you're playing that's at least updated. But DeGenova, great anticipation, right place at the right time.
Ball State will trust Lopes. Send it in again. Penalty corner. Effort. It scores! It's Emma Van Hall's second. Ball State storms the field. Everyone around number 7. After playing in 18 games last year and not garnering a tally, Van Hall has 2 in the first game of the year, and the Cardinals lead it 2-1 on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio.
That one wasn't too complicated. Van Hall got it off the pass to start the penalty corner. Right at the top of that striking circle, she fired a really quality shot. DeGenova couldn't quite get to it, and Ball State has the lead.
Emma Van Hall made her collegiate debut at home against St. Francis in 2022. Now in the first matchup since, she's making sure they remember the name. She finds bingo to the back of the cage and has the score 2-1 in favor of the hometown Cards. With 4:40 to play in the third, St. Francis going to have to move it up a tick and get a little aggressive. Now trailing for a second time in this contest. Van Hall, have yourself a day. 2 goals hard to come by now, 1 away from the hat trick. I don't have a hat. May have to throw the headset on the field from up here.
Yeah, I think that's the best we could do. I don't have any hats. I don't know if there's any up here, but man, that would be incredible to see. Still, I mean, almost 20 minutes left in the game for Van Hal to do it, so we'll see.
4:08 to play. SFU is immediately coming out with a bit more of a chip and flair. So they've aggressively worked their way near the offensive 25, left to right, reading like a book.
I think SFU recognizes that they've been thoroughly outplayed in this third quarter, so I think they're going to try to get more aggressive offensively, especially now that they're trailing.
Couple substitutions and some words of wisdom from Caitlin Walsh has willed her team to a 2-1 lead at home. So with 3.5 to play, Ball State hits a free hit behind Nadia Burdell inside their own 25. Again, she's unable to find her target, but Emma Hilton able to poke check it away. So that allows a slash over to Maya Guillen, who on the near side wants to dribble her way through the defense and does. She's now deep 2, putting the defense on skates is Guillen, forgetting it's field hockey. We're not playing on ice, but ultimately it is stolen away as Chloe Butts comes with a third effort to get it and now moves it inside the 25 herself. We're seeing a lot of solo play here between the Red Flash and Cardinals late into the third. Both sides have a couple of stars looking to do it themselves.
Yeah, and this is time where, especially for St. Francis, they just have to find a way to get that ball down inside the striking circle. Even if it doesn't result in a shot on goal, just put the pressure on Ball State's defense, who, other than the penalty corner attempt,
they haven't, as Ball State has a nice effort just to keep it inbounds on the near side. Paloma Rengifo then turns over a pass. She was looking to kick it to Emmeline Harder. First time she's been into the game. 2:29 to play in the third. Ball State leads it 2-1 over St. Francis from the Briner Sports Complex's field hockey pitch. A wet surface provided all that was promised and more. This has been an electric matchup with plenty of metaphorical fireworks. And the hometown team, some good defense away from a buzzer-to-buzzer victory. 2-1 the lead for Ball State. A tomahawk jab effort from Lauren Lewis, deemed illegal as she hit it with that curved end of her stick in trying to do such. So with just under 2 to go in the third quarter, St. Francis will take possession on the offensive end at least for a moment. Chloe Bunce mishandled the free hit. Goes out of the 25. Amy Mattingly now fights for contact. She's able to get it and moves to Dolores Zavaleta. Tries to push into the shooting circle but can't. 1-on-1 won by Harder. That's encouraging for the freshman from Virginia. Harder gives up to Rengifo, who has play whistle dead. It's a free hit in favor of SFU. They're infiltrating the striking zone now inside. All happened in a flash. But with 1:13 to play, Lauren Lewis and company take possession. A 2-1 game here in the third. Free hit, no good. The Red Flash take possession, quickly push towards the end line. Have a whistle dead just outside the shooting circle. Wanted a penalty corner, instead won't get it, and now an effort inside is kicked away from Johnston. Wouldn't have counted regardless. That shot was really just looking for a ricochet effort from out of the shooting circle.
Yeah, trying to get a lucky bounce or get it off of one of your players' sticks. Not a bad idea, but correct. Wouldn't have counted had it found the back of the cage.
Now inside the shooting circle, two sides pushing for contact and for possession. Ball State wins it. As this time it was Jessica Rochat able to win the joust. As Ball State moving the other way with 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. A match that they lead 2-1, their home opener. Free hit for Ball State. 8 seconds to play at the 50. With 5 to go, it looks like the clock will just run out. It'll do just that. As one last chance in the D, the clock expired before the shot would have been on goal and saved regardless. So 3 quarters of action have come and gone, Ryan. The Cardinals lead at 2-1.
That third quarter was the best field hockey that Ball State has played this afternoon, and just in terms of time of possession, in terms of passing, in terms of limiting turnovers when they have the ball in their possession, and also in terms of defense, when the defense has been tested, they've been up to the task. They stopped another penalty corner attempt from St. Francis, but still, unbelievable halftime adjustments. That's great coaching by Caitlin Walsh. It's a testament to her and the rest of her staff. But now we got 15 more minutes, and this is where, it's hot out, you're tired. Both teams got to dig deep, and it might just come down to who wants it more.
And I'm glad you mentioned those assistants in terms of who wants it more. Caitlin Walsh inked an extension. In doing such, she brought in a new staff. Credit to Brooke Richards, the assistant coach, and Emily Crawford, the graduate assistant. That squad was raring to go out of the half, and has Ball State leading it 2-1. About a minute left in this quarter break. We'll be back for the most pivotal of them all. The fourth quarter will be next on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Do you get deja vu? Well, that's what the Cardinals are hoping for. The last 2 matchups between the fourth quarter, Ball State leads it 2-1. They wouldn't mind tacking on a little extra damage, but Ryan, Ball State, it's starting to get a little familiar here. Could be a third straight match with a 2-1 win over St. Francis.
It definitely could be, and these teams did not play last season. Their scheduled matchup was canceled, but in both 2021 and 2022, when these two squads faced off, it did at 4-1 in about 15 minutes' time.
We will not kick the tires on the fourth quarter. It's underway. In the first 10 seconds, Ball State has taken possession and quickly squandered it. As Chloe Butts has it for the Red Flash, looking to ensure that it's not a third straight 2-1 L. Ball State forging an effort upfield. Sprinting to get to it is Grace Clokey. She'll be outraced by Madison Waltzberger, who takes over inside her defensive 25, moving left to right. And mishandles out of play, was trying to deke her way through the defense. Instead, allows a Ball State free hit deep into the zone. The Red Flash quickly take possession. Whistle's blown, and Ball State gets it right back. Paloma Renjifo gives back up to the top of the key. This is Lauren Lewis. Now to Emma Hilton on the far side. Ball State back within the 25, or are they? SFU thought they had a steal. They didn't. Van Hall takes over out of the whistle, and now Ball State is within that 25-yard line. Hard shot, caroms off of a defender from Kunkel. Ball State continues to get whistles in their favor with 13:37 to play in a fourth quarter of a match they lead 2-1. The Cards take possession on the goal line. Just heard another whistle, this one interesting and in their favor. Despite that action happening out of the shooting circle, that's what it looks like. Sophia Marciano for the Red Flash is currently arguing. It's going to go in favor of the Cards because the ball was headed that direction. It's a rare call, but another penalty corner for this Ball State team.
Start of the fourth quarter is looking very similar to what we saw for the duration of the third. Ball State efficient passing, outplaying St. Francis in better communication, completely opposite from what we saw in the first half where St. Francis looked better, but early returns for quarter number 4, good for the home team.
Something to follow here. Emma Van Hall looking for a hat trick. With Lopes inbounding, it worked. However, Ball State goes back to Hilton, who sends in and will be a different Cardinal with the sweeping effort. First shot blocked. Second ricochets in front of the cage. No good. Good effort in front from Rochette. She whiffed on her first try. The second has had red flash all over it. They got to stick to it. At the end of the day, Ball State's going to get another penalty corner look. They do a good job of piling these on until one counts.
Yeah, keep the pressure on that St. Francis defense. Those same 5 players got to keep those masks on and stay in the goal cage.
13-15 to play. Ball State leads it 2-1 in the fourth quarter of action. Yet another penalty corner attempt. Emma Hilton on the sideline in her lunge. Whistle blows. She sends in. It's mishandled. This is going to be a bad effort as Hilton just simply grazed over the top of it and didn't even get a competitive pass in. Ball State didn't get a shot off of the penalty corner. Now they'll have to reset defensively. Maya Guillen's got other plans. She went for a steal, but quickly St. Francis retains possession. They'll pass the 50 the other way. Left to right is Kansu de Castro, who has it ripped from her grasp. Now it's Jessica Rochat and the Cardinals. Rochat hears a whistle from behind. It was a little bit too aggressive from de Castro. Give 5 feet of room here for this free hit that Ball State opts to move backwards. The Cardinals can hold this 2-1 lead. They'll win it. Wouldn't mind tacking on another. As Lauren Lewis, the freshman, continues to see extensive minutes, they're entrusting her late and for good reason. She evades the defense and is back beyond the 50. Number 13, shovel pass in, it works. Grace Clokey has it. Oh my goodness, what an effort. We're inside down to Paloma Rengifo. On the far side of the shooting circle, Rengifo just has it battled out of play. Ball State will get a free hit inside the striking zone. What an effort from Lauren Lewis to really do that herself, especially as a mere freshman from England.
Absolutely. That passing and that precision along the sideline, handling the ball, making sure she didn't turn it over is what made that free hit even possible.
And it will completely pay off. Ball State has a third penalty corner in the early goings of this fourth quarter, just continuing to push the pressure. For me, that's been the main difference for Ball State from half number 1 to now the entirety of the third quarter and early goings of the fourth. This team has come out looking like they know they're the better team and they want to push instead of playing passively. This aggressive look has Ball State up 2-1. And with 11:59 to go behind Lauren Lewis's efforts, Emma Hilton is set up on the goal line with another chance for an inbound. This one successful. Striking effort. Slides by. Oh, what a save! What a save from Mia DiGenova. She got the first, the second even more impressive. Goes completely horizontal and stole it from the sky. As with 11:43 to play, Ball State was just robbed of one from the leather yellow pancake of DiGenova.
DiGenova was on the ground, sliding to her right, getting there just in time to stop the shot attempt. Remember that one if St. Francis is ever able to tie this game.
DiGenova has held her own. Of the 2 Ball State goals, one was scored on Josie Ix, who entered for the penalty stroke. Other than that, it's been doors from number 44, a mere sophomore in net from Pennsylvania, local to St. Francis. Now with matchsticks everywhere, 11:11 on the clock. St. Francis only tallying the lone goal. They trail 2-1. Look to find some answers here in the fourth. Ball State has already generated 3 penalty corners in the quarter, has yet to be able to capitalize. It leaves the door open a crack for an SFU team that's pushing down the far sideline. Mishandled and Van Hall takes over. She shoves over the 50 stripe, and now Ball State has a 2-on-3 push, but they're looking to will their way beyond it and do just that. Pass in, shot, rolling effort won't be good. Really good job from Madeline Donmoyer, who got her lower half to it. It will award Ball State a penalty corner, but if she didn't get a leg to that shot, that's a goal 10 out of 10 times.
Absolutely, and still almost all of this fourth quarter has been played to our left on the Ball State offensive zone or near that area. And again, Ball State's the team that's ahead, but they're still keeping their foot on the gas, which is great to see because this is still a 1-goal game.
They're playing with this lead far better than they played with their first one. Game went 1-0 Ball State. Deadlocked at ones. The Cardinals lead it 2-1. Here's their fourth penalty corner of the fourth quarter with 10:33 to play. Hilton sends in another side-armed approach, again off of the body of a member of St. Francis. So by the books, that means Ball State will get another penalty corner here as they continue to find impact in the lower body of the Red Flash.
It's all about that sustained pressure that we've seen, not giving St. Francis's defense much of a break.
But the previous play is under review. This is an interesting one, as it's really vantage point versus vantage point for Jan Stanky and Aaron McGuire-Osting. Obviously, no replay readily available, so these two are just going to talk over what they saw and decide if they really do believe that that got a piece of the body of what appeared to be Madison Waldsberger, but regardless, it looked like it did go off a member of the Red Flash.
That's what I saw as well, so I think that the officials are just going to discuss what they saw from each of their viewpoints and come to a conclusion. Again, don't have the luxury of instant replay, but I mean, I think we both are in agreement that it looked like it clearly went off of a Red Flash player because the shot attempt was blocked and then it trickled off to the right of the goal and went out of play. So that's what I saw. Maybe we missed something or the officials had a better angle, but we'll find out in a few moments.
At the very least, the luxury this provides both teams is an opportunity to talk over this penalty corner, one where the Ball State offense has struggled and the Red Flash defense now gets a little extra to think about. You see Emma Hilton is out there right now with a pair of Gatorade water bottles spraying down where she's going to hit on the turf, ensuring it's as wet as she likes it. Now she'll take a sip from the bottle after it's the first time we've seen that tonight, so Ball State taking advantage of the break as well. As a game of field hockey that sees 4 15-minute quarters is down to its final 10:20 here in the fourth. With Ball State leading at 2-1 and a bit of a lengthy official review here between a big-time call on if Ball State will get a penalty corner or if it will just be a free hit for the Red Flash within their own 25, moving left to right.
Yeah, the officials are taking their time, but that's a good thing in my opinion because you do want to get it right. And on a hot day like this, it gives the teams time to not just talk strategy, but also to take a breather, get some water, temperature in the low 90s this afternoon, only getting hotter as we approach the middle of the day. And Ball State, wisely as the home team, chose to wear their all-white uniforms. I think that was definitely an intentional choice to make the heat just a little bit easier to cope with.
You hit the nail on the head. Ryan Stojetz, a man who could wear many hats. That one ran right over my head. I like it, though. I didn't realize you were such a scientist. Yes, it is pretty common knowledge that white does reflect the sun a little better than the black and red that St. Francis is wearing. Whether that be a calculated decision or mere luck remains up to answers we likely will never have. But, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt. It's a good decision from Caitlin Walsh and company.
I like giving people the benefit of the doubt, so we'll do that. A strategic decision to make the hot August heat just a little bit easier to deal with.
And, you know, if it's the Ball State we know, we're well aware of the fact that this is something they've likely been calculating and preparing for quite some time. It's always this hot in early and late August. Officially today, Friday, August the 30th. The clock striking 1:22 p.m. Central from Briner Sports Complex. The thermometer reads 91 out on that pitch. It feels like 103. So you can only imagine running up and down that field what kind of wear and tear that does on the body. It's allowed both teams substitutions to get some extensive looks. We've really seen top to bottom the majority of both of these rosters this early afternoon.
And then that's good on the coaches because you have to use your substitutions effectively. You just can't have your players getting so exhausted, especially early in the first half. You can't have someone be gassed to the point where they can't contribute at their highest level. It's important to have players coming in and out. If someone's not comfortable playing, if they need a break, you got to give them that break, let them get water, use those substitutions. And when players are out there on the pitch, use your teammates. You got 10 teammates out there, so you don't have to be doing cardio 100 yards back and forth. Efficient passing, using the players you have around you. I think Ball State's done a much better job of that in the second half compared to the first, which we've talked about a lot because it's really the reason I think Ball State's ahead right now. And yeah, this is still a lengthy break as it looks like we're finally just coming to the end of it.
A flip switch for Ball State at the half. The call stands. It will stay a penalty corner for Ball State. It looks to keep the pedal to the metal, all gas, no brake mentality for Caitlin Walsh's team. That really feels like a goal away from the dagger. Never want to get ahead of yourself. The 2-goal deficit, tough to overcome at any point, let alone the fourth. Ball State can tally it here. They lead it 2-1 with 10:20 on the clock. Emma Hilton gets in the lunge of her freshly wet territory. Sprays over. This is Van Hall. She's already got 2 today. A chance for a third. She may have just had it stolen from her own teammate. Van Hall was going to find the back of the net, and Emma Hilton just saved it. A miscue from the Cards cost them a goal.
That one from here looked like less than a foot wide of the post.
It looked like it was finding the back of the net. Instead, Emma Hilton looked for a ricochet. Caromed it in the wrong direction. The score still reads 2-1 Ball State, who has won their last 2 matches against this Red Flash team by that exact tally. Now under 10 to play in the fourth. St. Francis going to have to find something on the offensive end. This will help. It's a free hit in their favor between the 25 and 50 in their own hash. First time into the game, it's Katie McGough. This team going for anything they can to find a little extra energy. St. Francis came out full throttle, ready to go in the first half. Stamina clearly catching up to them. It's a scorcher from Muncie, and now with 9:20 to play in a fourth quarter, that St. Francis trails 2-1 to the Cardinals. It's another miscue. Just too hard of a pass to be handled by Amy Mattingly, who could do nothing but watch in dismay. Ball rolled end over end, out of play on the near sideline, and now Ball State takes possession with the clock under 9 minutes remaining. BSU leads at 2-1. We're going to go around the horn defensively. This is one of the lone areas they've struggled today. Holding possession when within their own side of the 50. Again, it proves costly. Ball State sends a pass too far on that far side. Now with 8:45 to go, Red Flash take possession in between the 25 and 50 of Ball State. Play resumes. Tomahawking effort into the zone. Ball State aggressive just to get a piece of it. Rightfully so. That was a good play from Jessica Rochat, just to ensure that Ball State could take over possession. They do just that. It'll be a free hit the other way. Van Hall and company looking to put the nail in the coffin. Ball State leads at 2-1. Possession continues to stall out between the 25s. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Cardinals. For the Red Flash, not so much. They've got to find an answer. It's going to steamroll all the way from Ball State territory beyond the end line. In Red Flash territory, as just watching the clock tick down, and wisely so, taking a long hack all the way down the sideline was Emmeline Harder. Watched it carry all the way out of play, and now with 7:44 to play, at the very least, the Red Flash have to set up back within their own zone. That's why you do it. Ball State able to capitalize, and now they'll take over on their offensive end. Quick flip of possession. Ultimately, not a tarner on Ball State's resume. They're taking over on the offensive end in a hurry. Nadine Lopes looks to push in. She's in the shooting circle. Backhand effort, no good. And now it's going to be a second chance for Paloma Rengifo, who was just out-dueled by Madison Waldsberger. And a major shining star this afternoon for SFU.
And for St. Francis, this is where you just got to start getting balls inside that striking circle. It gets to a point where you almost have to think quantity over quality, because you just have to give yourself a chance and just hope for maybe a deflection or a lucky bounce or just maybe a missed save by the goalkeeper, because, you know, yeah, there's still just under 7 minutes to play, but we've seen in this match how real quality offensive chances have been really rare to come by, especially when you take away penalty corners.
And there's a yellow flag. So crediting Ball State where it was due. To this point, it felt like they were playing with the lead very wisely. They were still aggressive offensively, but out of a brigade set up on defense to not allow anyone in. Now Ball State is credited with a yellow card, something we very rarely and seldom saw last season. But they'll be down a player now for over a minute against a Red Flash team that's looking to push the other way.
Yeah, this is a huge opportunity for St. Francis. They've got possession now, approaching the 25-yard mark of Ball State. With that one-player advantage, we'll see if they can capitalize. This is their best opportunity to tie the game that they've had in a while.
They will likely be down a player for the rest of this match, presumably. Yellow cards are between 5 to 10 minutes in the discretion of the officials. And all of a sudden, things are interesting. St. Francis, immediately, you can feel the prowess and power of this team that is now outnumbering the Cardinals. They've earned a penalty corner almost immediately, and with 6:02 on the clock, don't look now, but this contest is wide open.
It absolutely is, and we were just talking about how St. Francis has got to start getting desperate and just, you know, shoot towards the net, hope you get a lucky bounce. Well, now that changes with having the the yellow card against Ball State with them having one more player out there on the pitch, they can get a little bit more creative here.
And they do just that! Off of the penalty corner. It goes around the horn. Beautiful passing out matches the Cards, and we're deadlocked at 2s in the fourth quarter. St. Francis says they're not done quite yet. They come back and strike to the back of the cage. 2-2 the ball game with 5:56 to go in the fourth.
Yeah, that was Brooke Benson there, down low, getting low, good positioning there, right on the right side of the goal, getting down and tapping that one in to tie the game off of the initial shot.
Brooke Benson played in 17 games last year for the Red Flash, started 3 of them. Did not tally a single shot on goal. Now in her first time out of the wet pitch all day, she subbed in and takes advantage. Right place, right time for the Pennsylvania native, sporting number 4, who just tied the contest in a hurry. I mean, my goodness, this is a player who has been with this St. Francis team since 2021. That's her first career collegiate goal.
And that's what you love about opening day matchups. There's excitement, there's buzz, but there's always a little bit of unpredictability.
So now all of a sudden the momentum is in the visitors' corner, as with 5:05 to play, we're tied at 2 apiece. And Ball State's going to have to get creative with the yellow card signaled against them.
Just completely changed the dynamic of these last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter with that yellow card.
Ball State not throwing in the towel. It's Wyckoff into the zone. Up the gut, Ball State has a shot saved. Good effort from Lopes, but it was saved up front from DeGenova. Not so fast. Ball State just got a penalty corner of their own. So with the clock reading 4:32, and a game that has been back and forth like a true pendulum, Ball State looks for the final jab to get the momentum rocking in their direction.
Absolutely, and this is a critical opportunity here because, yes, it's a tie game late in the fourth quarter, 4:32 left, but Ball State had most of the momentum for the entirety of the first half up until that yellow card was called, and since then, St. Francis has tied this game at 2. So this is a chance for them to erase the last couple minutes and try to get some positive momentum back with their squad.
Deadlocked at 2s, just over 4.5 to play in the fourth. Ball State inbounds their penalty corner. Good effort, shot from number 18, Jessica Rochad is wide and far. Again, stacking the pads and liking her odds is Mia DeGenova. She has the answers to the test once more. We remain tied at 2s out of the penalty corner. Ball State will take possession at their offensive 25 in Nadine Lopes. She immediately squanders possession, but just to stay competitive, Madeline Donmoyer sprays out of play on the far side to allow a breather. Allow our defense to set up inside the shooting circle. Will they make a decision? And do. It's a mistake from St. Francis. Just continuing to give Ball State a glimmer of hope here in a game where they're tied up at 2 apiece. It felt like that late fourth quarter goal for the Red Flash really could get the momentum punching the other direction, but I like what I've seen from Ball State in their efforts to recover. Now it's about finding the back of the cage with under 4 to play on this penalty corner.
With that yellow card, the penalty corner, I mean, you never know, but it's really likely going to be the only quality chances you see from Ball State.
Here is the quality chance. It is saved again by DeGenova, but we get another whistle as it hit Delori Savaleta's lower half on the way, call it her shin, so that by rule gives Ball State another penalty corner as they just continue to tick up and tick up. They're near 10 now on the day. Only 2 goals to show for it. Game that's deadlocked at 2s. Hilton slides in. Rochat, effort, high shot saved by DeGenova. The masks are off. Back-to-back penalty corners to perfection for SFU defensively.
That one came in high, almost at shoulder level for DeGenova.
But look at this, there's a late whistle. The masks were thrown off. SFU was ready to take possession, but hold on a moment. They're signaling for another penalty corner.
Ball State just continuing to sustain the pressure. I thought that we were getting ready to resume normal play, but I was mistaken. Once again, Ball State a chance to take the lead late.
Well, I can't blame you. I think just about all the players thought that play was getting ready to resume as well, but Ball State given a gift here. With just over 3.5 minutes to play in the fourth of a tied game. Emma Hilton Another drag shot from the outside. Ball State Sports Link produced a story on number 4 called an escape. Ball State looking to escape this comeback effort. DeGenova with another save. Rochat, second effort. Emma Hilton now has a try. No. St. Francis's defense too much. As a tomahawking effort from Jenna Wyckoff, enough at the last moment to force another corner. But boy, oh boy, the door was open for Hilton. The defense just too much.
It was, but it's still not completely shut because yet another penalty corner for the Cardinals. And if nothing else, maybe if they don't score, it's less time that St. Francis would have to score.
3:21 now on the clock in the fourth. This has been by far the lengthiest quarter of action to this point today. Ball State 2, St. Francis 2. Emma Hilton goes far side this time. Rochat, new effort, same result. DeGenova finds the save, and now Rochat's going to have to try again. She skies her shot far and wide. No doubt about it this time around. The masks are off. And St. Francis will take possession inside their own shooting circle. The clock officially reading exactly 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Great defensive stand from the Red Flash. They were just tested on 3 consecutive penalty corners. Ball State couldn't execute once. Now it's about taking advantage for the visitor, who finished at 10-8 a year ago, as opposed to the Cardinals 7-11. And have dropped their last 2 consecutive matches to BSU. 2.5 minutes to play. Ball just lobbying around the 25s right now. Both sides looking to strike late. Back in their defensive zone, the Cardinals have a quick possession with Rochat, who is hacked at the knees by DeCastro and will earn a free hit. Rochat fakes as if she was going to go back to her defense and sets us a tomahawk slash forward. Ball State putting full pedal to the metal, looking to be aggressive a bit too much. That steamer on the far side from Bond, too much for Wyckoff, who couldn't chase it down. Ball exceeds the goal line, out of play, and with under 2 minutes, St. Francis takes possession inside their own 25-yard hash. Toying with the Ball State offense, they'll just continue to pass back and forth throughout the shooting circle. Every defenseman has touched it here. Trying to force BSU's hand. They're unable to do it. A pass goes out on a ricochet, and now Maya Guillen has possession with the Cardinals. 90 seconds to play in the fourth. Ball State has looked like the better team for about 95% of this second half, but both teams have 1 goal to show for it in half 2. They're knotted up at 2 apiece. Deuces have gone wild here. With 1:15 remaining in the fourth quarter of a tied game from Briner. Good effort from Hilton. Barely got a piece. St. Francis still able to battle forward. They'll have a free hit now just outside of Ball State's 25, pushing left to right on the far side and cutting in is Dawn Moyer, who looked at DeCastro and couldn't pick up a pass, but instead it will be a free hit awarded. Right back up the gut. This time it's Grace Reed. Just outside the D. Ball State putting the bodies on the line to ensure that that ball does not enter. Losing her footing in the process was Allie Kirsch of the Red Flash. Mackenzie Olsiesi continues to go with new looks and helped to score the second goal, but there, the lost footing allows Ball State to take possession at least momentarily with 20 seconds to play in the fourth. A carom off of the upper body of Jessica Rochat, who is down on the turf. They're eating that one. It is going to be an injury whistle. Fortunately, she's quickly back up to her feet.
Yeah, that one came in hard. Got her upper body. St. Francis in the final minute of the fourth quarter just trying to get it into the striking circle, but unfortunately caught Rochat pretty good, but she appears to be okay.
That she does. There's 14 seconds left in regulation. St. Francis is going to try for one last effort here. There's 7 seconds to go outside the shooting circle. Ball State takes possession. They'll just hammer it downfield. 4 quarters wasn't enough. We'll need overtime from the Briner Sports Complex. Ryan has been back and forth all day long. Felt imminent, but we will need an overtime period.
Hey, good with me. This has been fun, so I don't mind a little bonus time. We've seen the momentum kind of swing back and forth. It was mostly in favor of St. Francis in that first half. Ball State, from the start of the third quarter to about midway into that fourth quarter, Ball State was playing really well, but with that yellow card and then the game-tying goal, St. Francis took the momentum back late in regulation, but this is where it matters most. Overtime, it's where it's won and lost, and these two teams have played a great opening day game. I'm excited to see how it unfolds in OT.
Well, for those unfamiliar, I'm going to walk you through the overtime format. First and foremost, I appreciate you opting to spend your Friday afternoon with myself, Ryan Stojetz, and Roen Elbert here today. If you're here for more, it's time to explain what OT is all about on the field hockey pitch. It will be 2 separate 10-minute sudden death periods. If across any of those 20 minutes a goal is scored, it's over. That scoring team has won the contest. But if we go 20 minutes, call it 2 separate 10-minute periods without a goal in the 5th and 6th, it will be a shootout to decide the contest victor.
Yeah, I think that you look at the way those overtime rules are set up, it's so interesting because it's like you could see a quick goal early on, or you could end up going all the way to a shootout, which would be really fun to watch, but we'd still have to play 20 minutes to get there, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But this is interesting because it is sudden death. This is where you got to balance being aggressive while also not being the player that makes a crucial mistake or turns the ball over in your own territory, resulting in a quality offensive possession for the opponent, because there's no coming back from any mistake that results in a goal, because as soon as a goal is scored, this game will be over.
Well, 60 minutes wasn't enough. On opening day, we're tied at 2s and headed to overtime. We'll be back with the coverage next on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State SportsLink.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Dock maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paint work on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com. At munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
It's opening day from the Briner Sports Complex. 4 quarters, 60 minutes have all been played, and we are still tied. Call it 2 apiece between the Ball State Cardinals and St. Francis Red Flash. I'm AJ Swiatek, joined by Ryan Stojetz. Man, what an absolute brawl and bloodbath on the turf. It was nothing but SFU in the first half. Felt like Ball State dominated quarters 3 and 4, but when it was all said and done, both teams scored a goal a half, and that has us deadlocked at 2s and needing a 5th period of playing.
This has been a really fun one, and it's been fun to watch the game unfold from the start of regulation to the finish of the first 4 quarters, because you've seen the teams making adjustments internally, making adjustments based off of how the opponent is playing. And I thought Ball State played their strongest field hockey in that third quarter, where I think they were passing the best. They were playing really good team field hockey, and they were getting a lot of quality offensive opportunities. Overall, in this match, in terms of shots taken, Ball State is out shooting St. Francis 22-8. And yes, not all those shots go on net, but still it goes to show the quality offensive opportunities Ball State has had, many of those coming in that third quarter or in the earlier portion of the fourth.
Well, overtime is underway. It will be a 10-minute period sudden death. We'll see 2 of these if necessary before a shootout would be mandated. But both sides back to their initial direction, so it's St. Francis moving right to left once more. Ball State reading like a book left to right. And SFU starts with possession at the 50. It's handled cleanly. Ball State playing far more passive, as obviously you can tell by the matter at hand. It's less players out there for the overtime period. Ball State sends Emma Hilton in the front line. Where left is Grace Clokey. Just being passed back and forth right now between Dolores Zavaleta and Madeline Donmoyer, as both sides are just looking to find an opening and gash through this Ball State defense. Ball State's got other plans. Hilton and company steal it and move upfield. Now Ball State has to be careful with how they use their possession. Emma Hilton finds an open player streaking upfield. This is Paloma Rengifo, who looks to save it, and she just did. It stays in bounds. She looks to pass cross field. Nearly a great effort just to save it there. It was a slide from Rochat, who used every bit of that stick to reel that ball in and keep it in play. Then the pass to Van Hall, nearly enough to give number 7 a try at the hat trick. When it's all said and done, SFU will take over inside their defensive end. Really good effort. That would have been a highlight reel play if Van Hall could have finished it.
It sure would have been, and you still know that the coaching staff is going to remember that play and appreciate the effort.
8:23 to play in overtime. Next goal wins. St. Francis has possession. Aaron Pass gives it right back to Ball State inside their own circle. They'll have to be careful. Looking to deke around the defense is Rachel Bond, who is unable to do such, as it will be a free hit in their own territory. Originally issued to Red Flash. Instead, it's given to the Cardinals. So the squad rocking their white uniforms will take over with a lift pass to the 50. As ultimately just scooped to the opposition, it gives possession freely to St. Francis. Emily Myers has it at the 50. Red Flash taking their time. They've dominated the TOP here in the early goings of OT. Now it's Madison Waltzberger, who's been great defensively with it near the 50. A little hot to go here for St. Francis. Looking for the right moment to strike. This may just be that. It's a free hit outside the shooting circle. Passed in, inside the D. Effort, tomahawked and blocked. Rachel Bond got in the way of it. She used her body to do such, so it will be a penalty corner in overtime, but in the grand scheme of things, that feels like a win for the Cardinals.
It does, taking the pressure off of the goaltender, Hannah Johnston, who's been spectacular so far today, making a lot of key saves, keeping the Cardinals tied, especially early in that first half. But still, this is really the first prime opportunity we're going to see in overtime. The penalty corner for St. Francis, but it looks like we're going to take a little break first.
Yeah, Caitlin Walsh signaled for the timeout. Obviously, in this situation, you hate to call a penalty corner a win for the defense in overtime, as this is going to be the most prime situation to win the game that we've seen to this point for St. Francis in a sudden death period. But if Rachel Bond didn't put the body on the line and get her upper half to that pearl that was whizzing by, that would have likely scored and ended the game. So that was a wise decision from a veteran who knew such. The Newport High School graduate, actually a Newport, Pennsylvania native, also familiar with St. Francis, is Rachel Bond, the graduate student who had a Ball State SportsLink story produced about her called Family is Everything. She's the reason that this Ball State family is still alive in their home opener that they look to waltz away with in victorious accord. However, out of the break, Caitlin Walsh's squad is going to have to come out raring to go against the St. Francis penalty corner that can end it all in a hurry.
they're going to be talking about how they want to play this defensively, making sure you limit this to absolutely one quality shot attempt at most for St. Francis. As soon as you get possession of this ball off of the initial shot, you've got to find a way to get it out. You don't want to have, like Ball State had in their favor, a string of, 3 consecutive penalty corners late in that fourth quarter that we saw. You don't want to have something like that in overtime where there's no opportunity to come back from a goal you give up. That would be the end of the game. So going to be key for this defense to communicate and to just not allow St. Francis any second chance opportunities if the first shot doesn't go in.
7 minutes and 7 seconds remain on the clock. That represents period number 5. The first overtime issued from Briner this year comes in a hurry. As in the blink of an eye, 4 quarters have come and gone. It will be a penalty corner for the Red Flash, who look to take complete advantage and waltz out, playing spoiler on the road. A big-time villainous act could be put into play here in a flash. The squad in their red and black road uniforms can bury one to the back of the cage, moving right to left. Timeout slowly commencing. Both officials chatting things over during the break. They'll head their separate ways. As, look at this. There will be a discussion out of the break about what exactly happened there with Rachel Bond. So now both sides are all huddled around this officiating crew. So waiting official word, it was initially signaled as a penalty corner.
And it looks like they're not in the typical penalty corner formation. Hannah Johnston alone manning the goal cage. Not sure if it's going to be a free hit or what exactly is going to happen here. Looks like Caitlin Walsh talking to one of the officials, and now they'll head their separate ways. But yeah, bit of a big change there because that takes away a potential prime opportunity for Ball State.
Wow, so St. Francis is no longer awarded the penalty corner. Enough inconclusivity in the break was seen that not only is it not a penalty corner, but it's Ball State possession inside their own 25. Or is it? This is unlike anything I've seen. They're facing off inside the 25 out of the break. As the 1-to-1 mano-y-mano duel on the far side.
Just when you thought you've seen it all.
Between Conso de Castro and Rachel Bond works in favor of the Cardinals. So not only is there no penalty corner, it is a face-off which you don't even see at the center to start at any point in a quarter or a match. Rare call works in favor of the Cards as their possession in their own half with 6.5 on the clock in overtime remaining. Game tied at 2. St. Francis gets it right back. They're going to try to push into the shooting circle. Over there and chasing it down is Marciano. She's tied up by a Ball State defender. It will allow a free hit for the white and red. Ball State hammers forward. Trying to pass through the defense. Unable to do it is Verratti, but she decides to do it herself. Karen's back onto her stick. Now she gives up to Paloma Rengifo. Rengifo, crossfield. Great opportunity for Hilton. She looks to dish back, but it's mishandled, and the Red Flash are moving the other way. This is where overtime can get dicey. Odd man rushes left and right the other way. It's St. Francis. Losing her stick is Bond. It will allow for a stoppage in play for the time being. Everyone catches their breath. It's a little bit less of a rush as the head-to-head between Hager and Bond winds up in favor of the Cardinals, who push possession left to right the other way. They're beyond the 50 now with it. This is Verratti off of the bench, providing a little bit of a spark here is number 11. She gives up to Rengifo, looking to breathe a true spark plug here. Ball State slows down, passes the other way. It's Lauren Lewis with it. Everyone touching the ball on this possession. Here's Nadine Lopes. She pushes inside the striking hash-marked area. Mishandles, loses her stick, falls in the process. St. Francis takes it the other way. SFU beyond their own 25, now beyond their own 50. Both sides hauling. Who wants it more? 2-on-1 in the shooting circle. SFU gives it off. The shot's a whiff. Hannah Johnston's there. As play is whistled dead on the whiff up front from Allie Kirsch. That was a prime scoring opportunity from St. Francis, and you could tell the fatigue really starting to kick in now.
Absolutely, a 2-on-1 in stride, and you don't even get a quality shot off. That cannot happen, especially in the most pivotal point in the game. If St. Francis is not able to come out on top in this one, they're going to be kicking themselves over that missed opportunity.
4:26 to play in the first period of overtime. It's sudden death. Next goal wins. Emily Myers and the Red Flash hope it's coming right here. They forge into the D, but not for long. The ball winds up out of play and in favor of a free hit for St. Francis just beyond the 25. Emily Myers dishes to Sophia Marciano, who sends into the shooting circle again. One-on-one matchup, whistle dead. Dangerous play from SFU. It'll give Ball State the ball. But first we'll see a timeout called for, as on the field, Emily Myers immediately held up her hands to stop play and go talk with the official, Erin McGuire-Austin. As play was whistled dead, it's going to allow Ball State a thought at a substitution here. They'll opt to keep things pat for the time being, as still staying out there is Rachel Bond, who was prepared to move out in favor of Paloma Rengifo, the latter of which will stay on the bench. So the stoppage in play seems to be taking a bit longer than typically believed, as now both sides are going to go back to their benches, and the two officials in Stanky and McGuire-Austin going to talk things over themselves here.
Very interesting. Even the goalkeeper is heading to the bench. This is interesting. Not exactly sure what's happening. As every player is left the field, the officials are off the field. Not sure if we missed something, but...
Well, there's 3 minutes and 54 seconds to play in the first period of overtime. Signaling for the timeout was Emily Myers of St. Francis, who clearly immediately noticed something as she was waving her hands, went to talk to the officials. What seemed to be a quick break now has everyone off of the field of play, and both referees now down below the press box talking something over. With under 4 minutes to go in the first overtime, it's been back and forth. Ryan, I feel like the early storyline is you can never catch yourself sleeping, because both sides have shown immediately how dangerous the odd man rush can be to get good looks.
And that's what you're going to see in overtime when you just have less people out there. There's more space that each person is responsible for. You always have to keep an eye behind you, make sure that there's not players trying to cherry pick, trying to create one of those 2-on-1 odd man rushes. So it's really important for just everyone to be that much more alert, aware of your surroundings, responsible with the ball on your stick, and that's what it's just going to be about. It's going to be about playing mistake-free field hockey, because in overtime especially, a crucial turnover could prove too much to come back from, especially if it's in your own defensive zone.
Last year, this Ball State team would often turn to Fleur Knopert when it came down to game-winning goal situations. However, of players we've seen hit the turf today, both Rachel Bond and Emma Hilton were able to find the back of the cage for a winner in the 23-24 season. Those would be players I'd keep an eye on for the Cardinals moving forward. It goes without saying who we're looking at for St. Francis. Madison Waltzberger may not be on the score sheet yet, but the All-Star scored 2 game-winning goals across her many total last year. Garnered 6 assists, 12 points, 16 shots on goal in 23-24. She's been out there for the entirety of overtime. It's no different here. As out of the break, it looks like it was just an extended break for just that, as Ball State will get a free hit where it was going to be initially regardless. And out of the time, BSU takes over with Paloma Rengifo into the contest for Reagan Kunkel. Under 4 to go in the first period of OT. Emmeline Harder now has it off of the free hit. She mishandles out of play. Stick handling not there on the far side, and Brooklyn Whiteass will take over for St. Francis. All tied at 2s, and St. Francis taking their time. Ball State playing far more aggressively in the overtime period. We'll see what game plan comes to fruition here. Emmeline Harder being tested defensively. She's going one-on-one with Dolores Zavaleta, who's earned about 10 feet of ground in doing such. She'll now dish off to Brooklyn Wides. Wides looking to do it herself. She stick handles through the defense. Moving in, play is whistled dead. A little bit too much there, went off of her feet. It allows Ball State a free hit from just within their own 25. They'll push left to right. Lauren Lewis moves to the outside for Emma Van Hall. Now play is whistled dead again. Be a free hit the other direction. St. Francis takes over at the Ball State 25. 2:35 to play in overtime. We're tied at 2s. SFU looking to do something with their possession.
Game's been slowing down a little bit the past couple of minutes, but we'll see. Still a decent amount of time, just under 2.5 minutes left in this first overtime period for a team to generate some sustained offense.
Really hard to blame the pace of play. It's a scorcher. Teams have been battle-tested, as you can tell the effort is there. Dolores Zavaleta just kind of half-heartedly sent one into the shooting circle, hoping for a ricochet. It didn't find anything but the foot of Hannah Johnston ineligibly. We kicked it out of play, and we resume now with under 2 to go in the first overtime period. Ball State takes over at their own striking zone. It's Emmeline Harder again being entrusted. She looks to deke her way upfield and can't. It's stolen. Dolores Zavaleta moves the other way. One-on-one with the tender. Hannah Johnston flying poke check. She got to stick to it. What a save from 52, and the game rages on. Ball State pushes the other direction. This Rengifo, 2-on-1 opportunity. Rengifo to Harder, mishandled. Emmeline Harder couldn't get a stick to it. Both sides squander big opportunities, but the mess is saved from Johnston as the contest continuing action with 1:20 to play in the first overtime period.
Johnston came way out there on that save, being aggressive as a goaltender, almost going not quite towards the shooting circle, but only a few feet away from it, coming way out of the goal cage, doing whatever she can to keep this game going. And that's what you see in overtime, AJ. You see lots of quality opportunities, more so than in a regular 11-on-11 setting in regulation, because there's just more open space for these players.
11-on-11 turns 7-on-7 in overtime. We've seen many good looks, just nothing that has found the back of the goal. There's 44 seconds to go in this first period of overtime. St. Francis has possession in between Ball State's 25 and the mid-stripe. On the far side, looking to deke her way upfield is DeCastro, as it rips from her grasp, and Van Hall will move the other way. 25 seconds to play in the first period. If Ball State wants an offensive effort, now's the time to find it. They're trying to push upfield, unable to do it. Now under 20 to go in the first period of overtime. Emma Hilton looks to dangle her way beyond Marciano, but can't. And ultimately, it will just be feathered out of play. Looks like we're going to need a second overtime. There's 5 seconds left, 4 seconds. The clock dwindles and ticks. We have gone 5 periods of tied field hockey. The Ball State Cardinals have 2. The St. Francis Red Flash have 2. Partner, what jumped out to you in that 10-minute period?
I think you saw at first a little bit of a period where both teams were trying to adjust to the 7-on-7 type of play, trying to really decide how they wanted to run operations in the overtime setting. But then I think towards the end of overtime, you saw teams get more comfortable. You saw some really good opportunities on both sides, some within a few seconds of each other. We saw a great save from Hannah Johnston to our left, and then on the other side we had a potential Ball State 2-on-1 opportunity, but the centering pass couldn't quite connect, and that's in part the reasons that we're still tied and we got more field hockey left to play.
That we do. 1 overtime period and 4 quarters have come and gone. We'll need a 6th 10-minute period. If neither side scores, we'll see a shootout. All of it coming up next on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paintwork on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com. At munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Just about time for double overtime from Muncie, Indiana. Ball State starts with possession. Period 6 is underway, and Emma Hilton has possession. It's a 2-2 ball game with the next goal winning. If we don't see a score here in double OT, it'll go to a shootout. As Ball State looking to forge a good possession here. They set up in their own defensive zone. In possession is Rachel Bond. Bond goes to the far side, now across the field. This is a good effort, just can't be handled. Christine DeTizio in for the first time today, and a good look. She needs to get into the flow of the match, however. Under 9.5 to play in the second period of overtime. Next goal still marking the victory.
And in overtime, you're going to see a lot of those longer passes, teams trying to create odd man rushes. And again, with 7-on-7, a lot more space per player. So you're going to see longer passes. You're going to see players spread out more. It, in a sense, is a little bit of a different game from regulation field hockey.
Now just under 9 minutes to go in double overtime. This is Dolores Zavaleta with it. St. Francis looking to push between the 25s. Just passing triangular motion here through the teeth of this Ball State defense. They forced their way inside that offensive 25. Through thick and thin, not easy. St. Francis doing their job to try to hold possession. They will. It's a force of the hand of Lauren Lewis, who just stabbed out of bounds intentionally as far as she could to allow a reset. Proves to be the right decision. Emma Hilton will take over off of SFU's free hit. Now she tomahawks forward. Again, here is DeTizio. She gives back to the middle of the field. This Van Hall, Ball State inside the scoring 25. They push forward. Far side, shot blocked. Paloma Renjifo, really nice shot. Even better save from Mia DiGenova, who flew out of the crease to get there.
Yeah, good pass by Van Hall. Seeing Renjifo was more open. Quality shot by Renjifo, just couldn't get it to the goal cage, but Ball State still has possession.
Ball State inside the D. Van Hall passes off. Whistle dead. Fatigue kicking in. That's an errant play from Waltzberger. The leader commits the foul, and the dangerous act is going to gift Ball State a penalty corner with a chance to win it just over 2 minutes into double overtime.
St. Francis feeling the pressure defensively, getting a little bit too aggressive, and now a penalty corner opportunity for Ball State. And again, the fatigue absolutely kicking in, but this is a great opportunity because Ball State, you're already at your own striking circle. You don't have a lot of ground to run through. Prime opportunity to end it right here for the Cards.
It's Hilton the inbound. The three across the D are Renjifo, Van Hall, who takes it, sends to the third of which that is Rachel Bond, and has things whistled dead. The defense does their job. Ball State couldn't even get a shot off. Their trio looked to pass their way through it. Ultimately didn't get a shot, whether it be on goal or not. And now BSU's going to have to lobby for possession. They do just that. They win a joust at the 50, and now it's with Renhefo. Number 14 moves within the 25. Offensively, Ball State able to shatter it off of Chloe Butts, who had it ricochet off of her lower half and pinball out of play. But with 7:12 to go, Ball State looking to push the D as things whistle dead, as Reagan Kunkel and company thought that they had earned a free hit. Instead, it's a free hit the other direction, so everything resets for Dolores Zavaleta, who takes over, as the pass did not exceed 5 yards for the Cards. Mental blip allows the red flash to move the other way, who passed very long, and it can't be saved. It goes beyond the goal line, left to right, diving just to try to make an effort was Wides. Ultimately, it left the field of play. Ball State takes possession back over in their defensive end. Now 6:30 to play in what's been a stalemate for the better part of 2 quarters.
Really is a 100-yard game in overtime. You see a lot of back and forth from midfield to the St. Francis end to the Ball State end. It's just simply a faster game with more ground for each player to have to gain.
Lauren Lewis, he has to step up defensively. Effort from the red flash, going to wind up wide. That shot sprays beyond the goal line. Out on the right-hand side. Went off of Ball State's stick. So it allows a free hit for Zavaleta. She opts to go backwards towards the 50 to Grace Reed. Right back to Zavaleta. The two just giving it back and forth, looking for their way through the brigade. Zavaleta with it now. Got to infiltrate the 25 out of the free hit. He goes right back towards the 50. Is at midfield. It is Reed. Now far side St. Francis. Does get in the 25, not for long. Ball State will take right back over. Stick handling with it is Lopes. She's still being contested heavily, even within her own 25. Lopes able to deke her way out of it. She's going to take it herself. Lopes now past the 25, past the 50. She's on the offensive end. First time we see her pass it up, it's to Verratti, who quickly dishes far side. Back inside, good effort for the Cardinals. Shot blocked by the red flash, who immediately just battle out of bounds as Zavaleta was content with forcing a reset and allowing a breather for her squad. So Ball State will have a free hit on the far side, just outside of the 25. But still, good effort from BSU to force this offensive effort.
Yeah, and on that last possession there for Ball State, they had the right idea, trying to pass it to the top of that shooting circle right in the center, just couldn't connect.
So off of the free hit, it's an immediate turnover. We're under 5 minutes to play in the double overtime period. There's no such thing as a third. If this stays tied, we'll go to a shootout. Who wants to be the hero? Ball State takes possession at the 50. Lauren Lewis passes upfield into the game for Clonky is Wyckoff. As play is whistled dead. A dangerous action on the far side, however, not in any consequential territory, just a free hit for the Cards, who push inside the 25. Now they move their way into the shooting circle. Prime opportunity is squandered. They can't hold possession. And Emma Hilton's going to be asked to cut off a pass. She can't. SFU moves the other way. 3.5 to play in double overtime. The red flash moving left to right. The ball in possession of Chloe Butts. She pushes upfield. This is DeCastro. Already scored on the contest, has number 8. She's going toe-to-toe with Emma Hilton. Her pass inside, not enough. Hannah Johnston kicks away. We're still inside the Ball State shooting circle. Everyone tied up. Things are whistled dead. And DeCastro and company just earned a penalty corner.
Back and forth, back and forth. Earlier on in this second overtime, it was played more so in the Ball State offensive zone, and they had some quality opportunities. But now, St. Francis's best opportunity of this second overtime period. A penalty corner, it's all right in front of you. You don't have to cover a lot of ground. Just get the pass, fire it, and if you do it right, you go home.
3:05 to go in double overtime. Prime opportunity for the Red Flash to walk away winners of a contest they trailed 2-1 with less than half of a quarter remaining. They forced this double overtime position. Caddy corner, put in. Slicing effort, Hannah Johnston with the save. That was a hard shot from Sophia Marciano. It was swatted out of the air like a fly by Hannah Johnston, who has looked like a praying mantis in net tonight. She's looked sharp.
Absolutely great save. That one came in a lot of velocity behind it, came up sort of high, but Johnston ready for it in great position to keep this game going.
Glad you mentioned the positioning. That's exactly where I was going. Had herself in the right place at the right time. That's not by accident. It allows Ball State an offensive effort. This Paloma Rengifo. She's moved all the way within the shooting circle now. Slight effort, blocked. Ball State going to reset. Close to the shooting circle again. This time it's Rengifo. Gives up to Van Hall. In search of her hat trick. She leaves a shot wide that winds up just shooting off of the outer echelon of the cage.
Thought for a split second from our angle maybe, but yes, that one did clearly hit the outside of the goal cage.
Wound up rattling around out of play. Now the official is clarifying who it went off of. As that's what the pause in play is here with 2:09 to go in double overtime. Could start to smell it as Ball State will take over. And they have been awarded a penalty corner out of the break. So after it was all said and done, good idea from Van Hall just to force something on net. Although it was errant and not in the right direction, it was enough to force a misplay from the opposition. And now Ball State's got a chance to win it with 2:09 on the clock. This is Lopes to inbound. Van Hall and Rengifo set up top. The two will look to get it going here for the Cards. Lopes to Paloma. Van Hall, shot, saved. Good effort defensively as St. Francis has the answers to another penalty corner. Just allow one to scorch out of play intentionally, but they get to lose the masks there of the penalty corner. Ball State has had a lot to hang their hat on tonight. The penalty corner has not been one of them. This team has struggled to capitalize on their opportunities from the outer echelon of the D. There's now 1:40 left in double overtime. St. Francis has possession in their defensive zone. Moving left to right, looking to get anything going offensively they can with time dwindling. Losing her stick was Van Hall. It forces a whistle and a free hit in favor of Emily Myers and St. Francis, who will reset the ball on their twig. 1:19 remains in double overtime. If no one scores, we'll need a shootout. Zavaleta pushing with St. Francis. Looks to shoot their way beyond that middle stripe. They're past the 50 now. Possession moving to the Ball State 25. Into the offensive zone goes the Red Flash. 56 seconds to play in double overtime. St. Francis forges a look. Backhanded effort. Not enough. Good try from DeCastro. Gobbled up by Rochat. And now with 44 to play, Ball State looks to be taking over in their defensive echelon.
Likely the last opportunity for a sustained offensive possession for Ball State. They've got to work this ball down to their offensive end of the field as we got about 30 seconds left in OT.
30 seconds to play. Something that I want to make very clear, obviously not impossible. It is a feature of the sport, but the shootout is extremely rare in field hockey. The 7-on-7 period fares for far more scoring, so it's unheard of that with 9 seconds to go, it looks like we will just see the clock run out for a potential shootout opportunity. That's exactly what will happen. We have gone 6 periods of tied field hockey. Or did we? Hold on, there was a shot at the last moment. The buzzer had sounded. St. Francis is celebrating as if they just won the contest. Ball State was already ready to wrap it up. This would be an unbelievable ending to this contest. We're going to have to review it.
I think maybe was there a late penalty corner called?
They call a corner
with
no time on the clock.
Second. Unreal.
So the clock reads donuts. The game is tied at 2s. and a corner was signaled for. So the clock is still reading 0. Ball State can't believe it. The heads are on their... I mean, look at this. Everyone is in dismay out there. Caitlin Walsh isn't aware of what's going on. Everyone questioning it. This is an awarded penalty corner with 0s on the clock. One last chance for St. Francis. Ball State looking to force a shootout. The shot, it's in! And the Red Flash win it through the 5-hole of Hannah Johnston. With 0s on the clock, a penalty corner is awarded. And SFU takes full advantage on the road. They say, oh my goodness. I mean, wow. To heck with the penalty shootout. With 0s left in double overtime, Ball State moves to 0-1 on their home opener. After absolute shock and dismay, Madison Waltzberger, the impact player, proves why. A season removed from 2 game-winning goals, she gets her first here with no time left on the clock in the second overtime period.
What an ending to this match. I mean, using quite literally all of the overtime periods, both 2 10-minute overtimes needed. And what happened at the end is there was just a skirmish down in the shooting circle in Ball State's defensive zone. And you and I both just thought the clock was going to run out, but someone on Ball State's defense must have just gotten a little too aggressive, a little too much contact, something where the officials saw enough to call a penalty corner with mere seconds, if even plural, maybe just a second left. And then because of that, there's a little bit of confusion. You see Ball State starting to walk off the pitch, presumably to get ready for OT. You see the St. Francis bench cheer, and then we're both confused because we see the hockey balls sitting there. We know it didn't go in, and then it's what's going on, and then we see them start to line up for the penalty corner, and we're like, oh, that's what happened. Just a critical mistake by Ball State just when we thought we were heading to the shootout. One late defensive mistake, getting a little too aggressive in the final seconds of overtime, and you know, unfortunately, it's not the result the Cardinals wanted, but, you know, if there's a way to lose, at least you fought hard. At least there's things that you can build on. But, again, it's sort of the same story last year. Ball State a season ago played in 11 one-goal contests, won just 4 of them. And, again, early on in 2024, sort of the same story. A close contest against a quality opponent, but when it matters most, Ball State just faltered a little bit.
Well, Ryan, I've covered my fair share of field hockey at this point in my life. I can comfortably say absolutely everybody in the press box, from ourselves to everybody to our right, the jaws are on the floor. This is unlike any finish I have ever seen. It was an untimed down of sorts, as after the clock had come to an end, Ball State had a little bit of a skirmish in the D. They thought it was time to head to a shootout, but not so fast. Instead, with no time on the clock, a penalty corner is awarded, and Madison Waltzberger takes complete advantage. The St. Francis Red Flash did a good job of distributing their offensive looks. Ultimately will move to 1-0 to start their season. It's a big start for the first-year head coach, Mackenzie Alciesi, who has her first tally in the right column.
And this is one that she's going to remember for a long time. Yes, of course, because it's her first win with St. Francis, first career win, and congrats to her and her squad for that. But the way that this game ended, you got 60 minutes of regulation, 20 more of overtime on a 90-plus degree hot late August day, and it goes to quite literally the final seconds of the second overtime on a penalty corner. This is one that I think both squads are going to remember for a long time. Opening day, well-played game. Momentum went back and forth, and it literally went to the final moments of overtime. Madison Waltzberger, one of the 4 returning starters from last year on this St. Francis squad. We talked about in the open how St. Francis was going to be looking to her and some of those other veteran returning starters to emerge as leaders on this team with a lot of roster turnover, and she did just that in the best way possible with a game-winning goal.
Complete craziness from Muncie, Indiana. Shock and awe as the Ball State Cardinals have to leave the pitch with a loss after a game that they seem to have wrapped up 2-1. A late fourth quarter goal forced overtime. St. Francis had other plans with 0 seconds remaining in the second overtime period. A penalty corner was awarded. Madison Waltzberger went to the top right corner of the cage, rattled it home for the goal, and the rest is history. That's all she wrote from Muncie, where your final score is St. Francis 3, Ball State 2. I've been AJ Swiatek, joined by the great Ryan Stojetz. Today, Roen Elbert was on for his first repetitions with the pregame show from top to bottom. Great coverage. Absolutely, from the bottom of my heart. I mean it when I say I love both spending the time with the both of you and calling the game for everyone at home. I appreciate you opting to spend your Friday afternoon with myself. So as the clock strikes 2:24 on this August the 30th, St. Francis heads back to Pennsylvania with their heads held high. Ball State will look for answers in their upcoming matchup against Stanford on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
This has been a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.